Welcome to the fantasy audiobook. Hokage. My brother is Uchiha Madara. Chapter 81. Evil Uchiha, my elder brother's behavior is definitely your conspiracy. I won't let you succeed. Hey, that's really hard for you. We didn't do anything. It's just that your elder brother followed our young clan leader and couldn't get rid of him. In order to get close to Madara, your elder brother even wanted to get in touch with me to get Madara's favor. What a coquettish guy. Asshole Uchiha, you dare to scold my brother, I'll kill you. Oh, what a pity. Although I ignored your brother, I don't know what dirty tricks that little guy used, but he still won the heart of our young clan leader. Bah, cheap. Uchiha Yu said, and spit directly on the ground. At this moment, his posture and expression were full of mental aggression. Mouth to mouth, maybe it's too touching. Uchiha has toxic chicken soup antibodies, and it will be uncomfortable to say it. But if it's a mockery, he came from Zuin before he crossed over. And he read Zhou Shiren's works. In order to better appreciate the fickleness of the world, he even spent some time in the intelligence organization at the entrance of the village, and learned some of the essence of the national quintessence from the old predecessors. Although it was a pity that he failed to inherit all of it, the inheritance of 1/10 or 1/12 of it still confused Senju Tobarama. He wanted to fight back, but Senju Tobarama racked his brains and couldn't think of any impactful words. Assholes, you Uchiha are not only a group of lunatics, but also a group of filthy assholes. I, Senju, will destroy you sooner or later. In the end, Senju Tobarama jumped up and down, cursing, and was dragged away by the accompanying ninja. If Senju Tobarama was a member of the Uchiha clan, his emotional fluctuations at this moment would be enough to open his eyes. When all the ninjas belonging to Senju walked away and Uchiha Yu turned around, he received dozens of pairs of admiring eyes. Yes, admiration. In any situation, Uchiha never cares about the process, only the outcome. It doesn't matter if the process is tortuous or not, it doesn't matter if the means are cruel or not, it doesn't matter how much is lost in the middle, as long as it's fun enough, as long as you can win, that's what Uchiha pursues. Moreover, similar taunting flow of escaping is specially studied in some Uchiha circles. Because according to Uchiha's research, this kind of trash talk during the battle can well affect the opponent's emotions. In the case of equal strength, this kind of escaping can often play some miraculous effects. However, escaping is something that depends on learning for 30% and talent for 70%. And Uchiha Yu, at this moment, Uchiha is sure that this is a rare escaping genius who is not only unique, but also has reached a level that can be passed down to future generations. Even among this group of Uchiha, some people who have learned escaping are already taking notes after they reacted. As for what Uchiha Yu said just now about the young clan leader and the young clan leader of Senju, it was a bit strange, but no matter what the situation was before, from now on, this situation is the fact. Senju Hashirama is a fool. And they also accepted Uchiha Yu as the captain. Maybe some people still feel that Uchiha Yu may not be able to win them in a head-on confrontation. However, if they add the pretend escape, they feel that the balance of victory will be tilted. This sincerity cannot be argued with. That night, Uchiha Yu received the news. There were some minor conflicts between Senju and Hyuga. In the end, the current clan leader of Hyuga, Hyuga Hitoshi, appeared in person and explained seriously. In the end, he took the initiative to apologize, hoping to calm down the war. Obviously, Senju Tobarama is also a person who knows how to manage emotions. If a negative emotion cannot be resolved, then passing it on to others can greatly alleviate one's own unhappiness. Although it does not cure the root cause, it cures the symptoms very quickly. As for what happened to Hyuga, what does it have to do with him? Besides, the Hyuga clan, who are good at forbearance, don't they have some way to digest negative emotions? The naturally evil Uchiha, especially the most evil Uchiha Yu of the contemporary era, is definitely brewing some conspiracy to pit the Senju. Uchiha. After cursing secretly, Senju Tobarama finally took a deep breath to calm down, looked at a pineapple-haired middle-aged ninja among his accompanying ninjas and asked, Nara, what do you think Uchiha will do this time? Captain Tobarama, is there a possibility that you deliberately said that to you, and Hyuga Hitoshi did not lie? I have thought about this, but even so, Uchiha Yu must be guarded against. Then we can only be careful. At present, Uchiha has not shown too many abnormalities. Besides, Senju clan leader doesn't want you to cause trouble. Quote, I know this, my father is too indecisive. If it were me, I would give up the siege on the Kagaya clan and take advantage of this opportunity to keep all these Uchiha, especially that Uchiha Yu. I always feel that he is a big disaster. Captain Tobarama, is there a possibility that the other party also thinks so? Quote. Quote. Two flowers bloom, each showing its own beauty. Regardless of what the gloomy guy Senju Tobarama was doubting when he fell to the ground, Uchiha didn't want to know. 1,000-foot wall stands firm without desire. Uchiha Yu came here just to do the mission. In addition, it was to protect Uchiha Bayu to survive. Even if there was an accident in this mission, even if all the Uchiha he brought died, he would not feel heartbroken. Because these Uchiha were not his own people trained by him, even if they really when faced with an unsolvable crisis, he would not feel any psychological pressure even if he abandoned Uchiha Bayu and ran away by himself. Compared with the people coming from Senju, Uchiha Yu was more curious about the situation in Hyuga. Although the girl Hyuga Wuyu seemed to have no problem, he had fought with the Hyuga clan several times in secret, and he deeply understood a truth. The Hyuga clan may have the biggest problem with the least problem. However, no matter what the Hyuga clan wants to do, no matter how many conspiracies and tricks they have, as long as their own strength is strong enough, those so-called conspiracies and tricks can be used by me. Uchiha Yu does not like to use conspiracies. Uchiha Yu prefers open conspiracies, especially open conspiracies that draw big cakes. Draw the cake bigger, and then let people know that he has the ability to really make the cake. Then, as long as those people are interested in his cake, as long as those people want to get some benefits from him, they will not worry about not being able to get benefits, and they will not be afraid of any calculations. Because as long as the benefits on you are big enough, before such benefits are completely divided up, even if someone targets you, they will blocked by another group of people. This is the most common method used by people of medium strength. Some use the so-called bond, some use the community of interests, and some use blood as a bond. Thinking of this, Uchiha Yu couldn't help but sigh softly. After all, he is not a strong man who has no scruples. Otherwise, there would be no conspiracy or rules, just push it forward. Make others become your shape, and make others have to operate according to your ideas, that is really powerful. Even if a dog comes, you have to kill it for 3 days before it can leave. Time flies, and 2 more days have passed. After getting familiar with the terrain on the first day, the next 2 days are about the distribution of the Hyuga front. Although the Hyuga clan is not as good as the Uchiha and Senju clans, after the last war, the chassis has shrunk more. However, a lean camel is bigger than a horse, and the territory where the Hyuga clan is now is still very impressive. The ninjas sent by the Uchiha and Senju sides add up to more than 100, but they will be divided into dozens of batches. In order to enhance mutual trust, the distribution requirements are that 1 ninja from the Uchiha clan and 1 ninja from the Senju clan will go to a branch of the Hyuga clan to patrol and defend against the Kagaya clan that may pass through that direction. The attitude towards the Kagaya clan is to kill if you can, and expel if you can't kill them, and send a message to notify the headquarters in time. Such a distribution makes the ninjas of the Uchiha and Senju sides lose the opportunity to cooperate. Although the overall combat power of the ninjas on both sides was reduced, Uchiha Yu and Senju Tobarama did not say anything. This time, the Kagaya clan was surrounded and excluded by all the families in the Land of Fire. They were not the main combat force of the Uchiha and Senju clans. They just needed to keep an eye on the Hyuga clan and not make any trouble. As the captains of the Uchiha and Senju clans, Uchiha Yu and Senju Tobarama stayed in the Hyuga clan territory and watched the people of the Hyuga headquarters. Uchiha Yu left Uchiha Bayu as a follower, and Senju Tobarama left a ninja from the Nara family as an assistant. The two still lived in the dojo near Tansho Street. Uchiha Bayu and the Nara ninja acted as their eyes, patrolling from time to time, mainly paying attention to whether there were any big moves on the Hyuga side. However, both Uchiha Yu and Senju Tobarama knew that these were just formalities. The Hyuga clan has the Byakugan, and may be slightly weaker than the Uchiha and Senju in terms of combat power, but in terms of reconnaissance, the Hyuga clan is recognized as the best. It is not certain who monitors whom. Therefore, although this mission seems difficult and there may be conflicts with the Hyuga clan at any time, it is actually very easy. As long as there are no major problems with the Uchiha ninjas in various places, Uchiha Bayu will be fine, even if there are a few casualties. As long as he can hold on for this period of time, his mission will be completed. Anyway, it is a family mission, and it is not the responsible area that determines success or failure. Uchiha Yu just needs to grasp the key points and continue to paddle, and occasionally take Uchiha Bayu to provoke Senju Tobirama. Anyway, he is idle anyway, and it is important to find something to do. This made the naughty child Uchiha Bayu doubt who is the naughty child. Perhaps it was because Uchiha Yu was too messy. Senju Tobirama saw Uchiha Yu like this, and he also waited for Uchiha to perform with the idea that he would not move if the enemy did not move. Neither of them was in a hurry, but Hyuga seemed to be unable to hold back. One day, Hyuga Wuyu came to visit. Miss Hyuga, what's the matter? Tomorrow is my father's birthday. According to the rules of the Hyuga clan, all the idle people in the clan can go there. My father asked me to come and invite Captain Yu. Birthday. Do you want to pay a gift? Pay a gift. Just pay money or buy gifts. This is not necessary, but if you are interested, just some flowers will do. Hyuga Wuyu opened her mouth and explained for Uchiha Yu. I see, Miss Hyuga, please reply to the Hyuga clan leader, you will definitely go. In that case, I thank Captain Yu for his kindness on behalf of my father. Hyuga Wuyu nodded. His posture and etiquette were very well done, fully reflecting the cultivation of a family. After seeing and hearing these days, Uchiha Yu has a deeper understanding of the Hyuga clan. This is a real family. The rules are strict, the etiquette is thoughtful, and each ninja is not just an individual, but also a sub-body of a family. When one prospers, all prosper, and when one suffers, all suffer. This can be seen from the fact that the Hyuga clan has ninja turtles per capita. Uchiha Yu does not laugh at such a family, because a family that can survive to the next generation and become the first family in the ninja world, no one has the right to laugh at them. A family that can still remain neutral between the Senju and Uchiha. A family that can still ensure the stability of the family under the high-pressure policy of the third generation. A family that still has enough reputation and strength in the era of family decline in Boruto, and clearly has the spirit of the first family in the ninja world, but still does not have excessive expansion and arrogance. Such family resilience is not possessed by Uchiha and Senju. Of course, Uchiha the Uchiha and Senju clans were able to suppress the Hyuga clan for such a long time, and they themselves have their own unique family characteristics. The Hyuga clan is about survival and stability. The Uchiha clan is about unity and progress. And the Senju clan is about potential and wisdom. The Hyuga clan survived to the end with the way of survival. After Hashirama Senju established the ninja village, the Senju clan began to let the clan members live in seclusion and integrate into Konoha. It seems that the Senju clan is gone, but except for the Hyuga and Uchiha clans who maintain the purity of their bloodline, no one knows how many Senju clans there are among the ninjas of Konoha. Even among those ninja clans, they would not refuse to incorporate such excellent and powerful genes as the Senju clan into their own clan. However, the Uchiha clan did not see this clearly. They were a member of the defeated party and did not find a suitable way out for themselves. They just recalled the scenery of the Warring States period, but they did not know that they were always living off their old capital. The policies of Senju Tobirama, the targeting of the third generation and Danzo, and the crushing of the Great Era, made the Uchiha survival mode change from being like a fish in water in the Warring States period to becoming a roadblock in the Great Era. Uchiha Yu, as a member of the Uchiha clan, is warm on the outside but cold on the inside. He doesn't care about many family ninjas, and even doesn't like to pay attention to the so-called bond with those guys. However, this does not mean that he can watch the Uchiha clan decline. He will lead the Uchiha to survive in the turbulent times in the future. However, it does not necessarily have to be the batch of Konoha in the future. However, thinking of the tragedy of Uchiha Itachi slaughtering the clan in the future, Uchiha Yu is also angry. Don't want to stay in Konoha anymore. All members can become rebel ninjas. All of them died in a small village. It's really a shame for the Uchiha surname. But think about it, this is all the plan made by the insidious thing Senju Tobarama. This guy holds grudges and is petty. It seems like everyone holds grudges. The more I think about it, the angrier I get. No, I can't stand this. Senju Tobarama, I want to get him. Shinobu was calm for a while, but the more he thought about it, the angrier he got. If Uchiha Yu was a member of the ninja world and had foreseen what would happen to Uchiha in the future, he might have thought about improving Senju Tobarama's favorability and asking him to show mercy to Uchiha in the future. However, he was a time traveler and knew the plot later. In a world without him, Senju Tobarama treated Uchiha like that, and with him, he would definitely beat Uchiha to death. Anyway, there would be no good ending, so it's better to bully them harder now. What butterfly effect? What inevitable cause and effect? It doesn't exist, the cause and effect are already destined, and there is no worse result, so no matter how bad his cause is, it can actually be understood. Anyway, Hashirama is broad-minded, even if Tobarama dies, he will continue to move forward firmly for his dream. Hey, wait, if there is a Konoha without Senju Tobarama, it may be a loss for Konoha, but it will not harm Uchiha at all. Uchiha Yu originally just wanted to suppress Senju Tobarama and vent his anger. However, the more he thought about it, the more he found that he had a stronger desire to kill. This guy, he has a reason to die. Tobarama, don't blame me. If you want to blame you for making me suddenly realize that you really deserve to die. Uchiha Yu said. The shadow under his feet became darker, and a crow flew out silently. Once, just once, I will make a move once. Senju Tobarama, this time, I will bet my luck with your strength. It depends on whether you are lucky or my sword is faster. Uchiha Yu glanced at the direction of the clan where Senju Tobarama was, and the murderous intent flashed. Senju Tobarama, who was in another dojo in Hyuga, had just sent off the inviter of the Hyuga clan. He was holding the invitation of the Hyuga clan in his hand and was thinking there. Suddenly, Senju Tobarama felt an inexplicable panic, which made him look around cautiously. What's wrong, Captain? The Nara ninja looked at Senju Tobarama's abnormality and asked curiously. After a long while, Senju Tobarama shook his head and said, no, maybe it's my illusion. Illusion. The Nara ninja looked at Senju Tobarama, but his brows were furrowed. As soon as the Hyuga clan sent the invitation, Senju Tobarama had a bad feeling. This was not a good sign. Although the ninja did not believe this, now all the ninjas on their side of Senju were released. If there was any unusual movement on the side of the Hyuga clan, he was not sure if he could take Senju Tobarama away. Although, he was 90% confident that the Hyuga clan would not do such crazy things. But, what if? Or, what about others? However, the current situation, whether they attend the Hyuga clan's birthday party or not, the situation is almost the same. If the Hyuga clan is targeting, they may have ambushed them by now. And if they are not the Hyuga clan, it may be safer to attend the Hyuga clan's birthday party. However, no matter which one, it cannot ensure absolute safety. Now, we can only take one step at a time. The next day, the Hyuga clan's birthday party was held as scheduled. Uchiha Yu took Uchiha Bayu and bought some simple birthday gifts in the shops near Tansho Street. They were not precious, but they were not shabby. Although the Hyuga clan was an opponent, he gave them the greatest respect. Similarly, he was also curious about what the Hyuga clan was going to do. After a few days of investigation, he knew that the Hyuga clan's birthday party had been scheduled a month ago. At that time, Senju and Uchiha had not really decided to fight Kagaya together. Moreover, the Hyuga clan would celebrate certain festivals for the clan leader or important members of the clan leader's lineage every year, such as birthdays and coming-of-age ceremonies. These were not just ceremonies, but were meant to promote themselves within the clan, and were also a way of managing the clan. Brother Yu, you are giving too much face to the Hyuga clan. If it were me. What would you do if it were you? If it were me, I would not participate. Hyuga clan is just doing so many boring things. Really, Brother Yu, you seem to have different ideas. What can I think? Just watch carefully. This kind of ceremony will not be seen often except when your eldest brother becomes the clan leader in the future. Just take it as an understanding. Hey, Brother Yu, although I have no objection to my eldest brother becoming the clan leader, I still hope that he will never become the clan leader. Ha, sorry. Looking at Uchiha Bu's gloomy face, Uchiha Yu suddenly reacted immediately. No Uchiha clan leader has ever died of old age. Most of them died on the road of expanding territory for the Uchiha clan, and all the Uchiha clan leaders are proud of this. However, as the son of the Uchiha clan leader, although Uchiha Bayu knew that there would be such a day, he still hoped that day would be as late as possible. This is not only true for Uchiha Bayu, but also for Uchiha Madara and his other brothers, except for Uchiha Yu. From a long time ago, Uchiha Yu respected Uncle Tajima as a family member who was seriously ill and could leave at any time. Therefore, every time Uchiha Tajima felt that Uchiha Yu treated him well, he was always unhappy. HMPH. A cold snort called back Uchiha Yu, who was lost in his thoughts. Looking back, he saw that Senju Tobirama had appeared not far from him at some point, with a stinky face, as if he was still brooding over the previous things. Uchiha Yu ignored Senju Tobirama, because they had already arrived at the Hyuga clan. Captain Yu, you are here, please follow me. Hyuga Wuyu had been waiting there for a long time, and when he saw Uchiha Yu coming, he smiled and came to greet him. Congratulations on the birthday of the Hyuga clan leader, a small gift, just to show my appreciation. Don't hit a smiling person. Before the Hyuga clan showed any behavior against him, Uchiha Yu didn't mind responding with a gesture of goodwill. Although Uchiha Bayu next to him didn't understand, he didn't show his arrogance but observed Uchiha Yu's every move. Although he didn't get along with Uchiha Yu for a long time, Uchiha Bayu has become a fan of Uchiha Yu. Imitating the idol's every move, and even analyzing any behavior of the idol from all aspects, is a normal awareness of a little fan. As for Senju Tobirama, he did not lose the demeanor of the Senju clan and brought his own gifts. What made Uchiha Yu feel interesting was the girl who received Senju Tobirama. That girl was younger than Hyuga Mizuki, and about the same age as Uchiha Yu. However, unlike Hyuga Mizuki, that girl had a pair of white eyes. In addition, the girl's forehead was covered with bangs, and you could vaguely see what kind of mark it was. Uchiha had seen a lot of this mark, or even a lot of it. Except for a few other Hyuga ninjas, most of the Hyuga clan had such marks. Some people openly displayed this mark, while others would cover it with something. For example, some headbands, or simply like that girl, cover it with bangs. That mark is called a bird in a cage. As if she had noticed Uchiha Yu's gaze, the Hyuga girl looked at Uchiha Yu, then smiled, then nodded, and then took Senju Tobirama into the Hyuga clan. Uchiha Yu stood there, looking at the girl's back, recalling the girl's smile just now. Clean and pure, just like her eyes, without the slightest flaw. That was a girl who could see inside and outside at a glance, with a flawless appearance and heart. Innocent and romantic, a fairy on earth, perhaps the best evaluation of her. Even Uchiha Bayu, who was next to Uchiha Yu, had a heartbeat when he accidentally saw the girl. But it was a pity that Uchiha men either liked to be gay, or had a crush on someone, or were yandere. They always just played ambiguity and never took the initiative to pursue or confess. Even the future Hokage, the most affectionate brother Tsuchiko, was just a dog who was more than a friend, but less than a lover. And Hyuga Mizuki next to him saw the expressions of the two Uchiha brothers and did not show any extra emotions. However, while she led the two Uchiha brothers into the Hyuga clan, she asked inconspicuously, "Captain Yu, you seem to be interested in my sister." "Sister? Yes, the one just now, Hyuga Muka. So it's your sister, don't get me wrong, I'm just curious." "Curious? You are sisters, but she has a branch family mark on her forehead, why doesn't yours? You can also become a main family without the Byakugan." "Your Excellency misunderstood, because I don't have the Byakugan, so I don't even have the qualifications to become a branch family and be a bird in a cage. If my father is not the clan leader, maybe I can't even have a surname." Speaking of this, Hyuga Muka had a self-deprecating look on his face, and his mood revealed a depression in an instant. Originally, Uchiha Bayu, who was next to Uchiha Yu, wanted to express his dissatisfaction after hearing this, and expressed why a Byakugan was sent to receive the Senju, but a waste was sent to receive them. However, Uchiha was born with a keen sense of emotion. When he noticed the emotional fluctuations of Hinata Wuyu, he quietly restrained his temper and snorted, but did not say much. Uchiha's tsunere is silent tenderness. Unfortunately, many people find it difficult to understand. Uchiha Yu did not respond to Hinata Wuyu's words. He was like a spectator, listening to the family affairs that others had mentioned. He did not want to express too much, nor did he want to continue to ask about these. However, Uchiha Bu next to him was not as indifferent as Uchiha Yu, but he opened the conversation with Hinata Wuyu in a casual question. Hinata Wuyu's words were very refined, and his words were often on point. In just 10 minutes of going to the center of the clan, Uchiha Bu had a general understanding of the situation. Even Uchiha Yu next to him basically heard a general idea even if he didn't want to listen. Although the current Hyuga clan leader is the strongest in the family, he seemed to have a rebellious past when he was young and did not like the family's rules and regulations. In the end, the clan leader did not follow the family's arrangements and married a woman outside the clan. Although his strength and prestige were sufficient, because the Hyuga clan's Byakugan needed to be maintained through intermarriage within the clan, according to the rules set by the Hyuga clan's ancestors, the children of the Hyuga clan leader were not qualified to compete for the next clan leader. If her father was not the clan leader, non-Byan owners like Hyuga Mizuki would not be allowed to stay in the clan, but would be sent out and even deprived of their surnames. Even as the daughter of the clan leader, Hyuga Mizuki could not escape this fate. However, after that, Hyuga Muka was born. She, as a non-pure blood Hyuga, inherited the ability of the Byakugan. If the Hyuga clan leader fought for it, it would not be impossible to get her a head family identity and compete for the position of the next clan leader. However, in the end, the Hyuga clan leader gave up. Hyuga Mizuki retained his surname and stayed in the Hyuga clan, but Hyuga Mizuki's sister, it is necessary to become a branch family. When Hyuga Wuyu talked about this past, she was very calm. Apart from expressing gratitude to her father and a little apology to her sister, she did not show any dissatisfaction with the Hyuga clan. When Uchiha Bu heard this, he looked unbelievable. He seemed to be unable to imagine that a family could be so repressive. It turned out that just because of the qualification of the clan leader, the family would be so heartless and cold. Uchiha Bu was still too young after all. After hearing some of Hyuga Wuyu's words, his mood became bad. Instinctively, he had a special sense of rejection towards the Hyuga clan. Of course, for some people with the caged bird seal on their heads, there was more sympathy and emotion, and from time to time they still said a few words in front of Uchiha Yu, as if they wanted to get Uchiha Yu's approval. However, Uchiha Yu remained silent about this. Because at this moment, the Hyuga clan had arrived. Afterwards, Uchiha Yu and Uchiha Bu were arranged by Hyuga Matsuki to sit in a guest seat, and Hyuga Matsuki accompanied them throughout the whole process. And Senju Tobarama was not far from them. The seats on both sides were VIP seats, and there was no distinction between who was higher and who was lower. Except for the difference between the girls on both sides, the attitude of the Hyuga clan towards Senju and Uchiha was quite good. Of course, what deserves Uchiha Yu's attention is that next to Senju Tobarama, the girl Hyuga Muka, unlike Hyuga Matsuki's knowledgeable and well-mannered, is a guy who has his expression carved on his face. At this moment, she didn't see Senju Tobarama's stinky expression at all, and her eyes were all on the food prepared by the Hyuga clan for the guests. The 2 chopsticks in her hands were held by 2 small hands, as if she would start eating immediately as long as it was time to eat and drink freely. Senju Tobarama seemed to have noticed this scene, but he didn't seem to show too much anger and dissatisfaction. On the contrary, there was only some helplessness. Obviously, Senju Tobarama seems to have gotten used to Hinata Muka's performance. At this moment, Uchiha Yu saw this scene and couldn't help but think of a few words in his mind. The foodie wife of the underworld boss. The cold-faced second young master and his poison-testing partner. I always feel that this style of painting is getting more and more wrong. But then again, these 2 guys, Tobarama Senju and Hyuga Muka, look really good together. What Uchiha Yu didn't know was that while he was looking around, Uchiha Bu next to him was quietly observing the idol. While observing, he unexpectedly discovered that the girl sitting quietly next to the idol was inexplicably in sync with the idol. He found that there seemed to be a sense of fit between his elder brother and Hyuga Muka. Especially when his elder brother was thinking, Hyuga Muka next to him would naturally add tea to his cup, which reminded Uchiha Bayu of his mother's behavior when his father was at home. Especially Hyuga Muka's occasionally slightly raised eyes, which looked too much like her mother. Well, not as pretty as his mother. However, from Hyuga Muka's behavior, Uchiha Bayu knew that this seemingly gentle woman was definitely black when cut open. Sure enough, it didn't take long for Uchiha Yu to come back from his contemplation. He always felt bloated in his stomach. Looking at the water cup in his hand, and looking at Hinata Wuyu who was waiting with a smile beside him with a kettle, he couldn't count how many cups he had refilled. At this moment, Uchiha Yu suddenly realized what Hinata Wuyu's special temperament was. It was a temperament that people unconsciously ignored, but naturally got used to. As long as this kind of person is by your side, she can always adapt to your rhythm, know what you are thinking next, and not let you feel a little uncomfortable, and even feel very comfortable. And the most interesting thing is that she can let you know what she wants without using words. This kind of tacit understanding and naturalness can only be possessed by some couples who have lived in harmony for decades, and it is also the kind of couples who need soul resonance. Respect each other like guests, and treat each other with respect. Such a woman will make people feel at ease, and there will be no lack of fun in life. It's just that you need a pair of eyes to discover. Uchiha Yu looked at this scene, his mouth corners slightly raised, looking at Hyuga Wuyu's eyes, as if he had discovered something interesting. However, when he lowered his eyes and continued to drink tea, his eyes were full of interest, but a sharp light flashed. The Hyuga clan, what a deep mind. If what happened to Senju Tobarama was just an accident, then what he did here is really worth thinking about. Hyuga clan, have you studied my personality thoroughly? Uchiha Yu first had a guess in his mind. But soon, he rejected this idea. No matter how good the intelligence network of the Hyuga clan is, it is impossible to fully understand a person. The only possibility is that the Hyuga clan has prepared plans for people with different personalities according to each of their personalities. With Senju Tobarama's gloomy personality, it is absolutely impossible to trust a person so easily, and it is the Hyuga clan that is slightly rival. However, in just a few days, Senju Tobarama felt that he had fallen. Because they were only 10 years old, it was not necessarily the so-called love at first sight, or the throbbing of cultivating each other. Perhaps, it was a deeper resonance of the soul. Senju Tobarama, who had complex thoughts and gloomy ideas, might just need someone like Hyuga Muka who didn't think about things at all. Because only a woman who could see through at a glance would make a guy like Senju Tobarama feel more at ease. And Hyuga Muzuki beside him, Uchiha Yu felt more like a master. A woman who annexed him in terms of emotional value needs. Such a woman was only 13 or 14 years old. Either this woman was wearing the skin of a girl, but her heart had already been weathered, or this woman was a natural human being with an explosive emotional intelligence. If Uchiha Yu was not a time traveler, with a 10-year-old body hiding an adult soul, and had his own views on the situation of the warring states, he might have let down some of his guard. No, Uchiha Yu saw the water cup he had casually placed on the table at this moment, and the position was the same as before. The girl slowly filled up his glass again. Habit is a subtle behavior. Good habits can make people better and better. Bad habits may bring fatal weaknesses to a person. Regardless of whether the habit is good or bad, once it is formed, people don't like to change it. Especially some habits that make oneself comfortable and refreshing, once they are destroyed, they will feel something is missing. For example, this scene in front of him. Although it was only a short moment, the girl seemed to have developed a subtle habit with him. He himself didn't know when this habit started. From the small to the big, Uchiha Yu suddenly understood that even if he was cautious about this girl, as long as he got along with her, his heart and body would get used to this woman. In the end, even if he struggled in his heart, he might not be able to escape the final outcome. It's not that he didn't want to, but that he didn't want to. It's more cost-effective to keep it than to give it up. When this thought came to Uchiha Yu's mind, Uchiha Yu's hand holding the water cup trembled slightly unconsciously. But it was just a tremor. This is a respect for the Hyuga clan. The Hyuga clan is playing a big game. Uchiha Yu doesn't know who is the chess player, and he doesn't need to know. The Hyuga clan is capable of doing this. However, anything, as long as it is done, there will always be traces to follow. And as long as the Hyuga clan wants to continue to survive, they will eventually be unable to escape the two aspects of survival and improvement. Survive better. Keep getting better. These two wills are not only in the Hyuga, Uchiha and Senju clans, but also in all ninja clans, and even in every human being. As long as he understands this idea, as long as he knows that humans have this instinctive pursuit, Uchiha Yu doesn't have to worry about how much the Hyuga clan is calculating. Take the Senju Tobirama on the opposite side for example. No matter how gloomy your thoughts are and how changeable your ideas are, I will naturally overcome them, so that you have infinite brain power and endless calculations, but they are useless. Uchiha Yu is a little different from Senju Tobirama. He doesn't have so much brain power, and he doesn't want to go around in calculations. He still likes to draw cakes. As long as my cake is big enough, and my cake has the fillings you like, then I am not afraid that you don't want to share a piece. And no matter how smart you are, before the cake is completely made, Uchiha Yu can break up at any time as long as he can ensure that others can't make a cake as big as his, then everyone will spoil him. As for how to distribute the cake after it is made, it is not important. What is important is that everyone is looking at the cake. At that time, he should have owned a cake factory with the compensation panel. It can even be said that he controlled all the materials for making cakes. In the future, only he can draw cakes for others, and similarly, only he can let people have cakes to eat. After understanding this, Uchiha Yu no longer felt daunted when he looked at Hyuga Wuyu next to him. On the contrary, he had some expectations. Now, he wanted to challenge his weakness. To see if he was stuck in the mud, or if the Hyuga clan lost both the wife and the army. Anyway, it was just a piece of cake. He could afford to lose, so it depended on whether the Hyuga clan could afford to play. Poor tea. Uchiha Yu drank another cup of tea and felt his stomach. Well, he was almost full. Uchiha Bayu next to him didn't know why Uchiha Yu's expression changed so quickly, but he knew that Brother Yu was the most awesome. So, Uchiha Bayu also felt that he would become awesome, and the whole person relaxed. After hearing Uchiha Yu's words, poor tea, Hyuga Wuyu's expression remained the same, but for some reason, he was a little panicked. She had a feeling that although the young man in front of her had taken the bait, it was still unclear whether the Hyuga clan could catch this big fish. She always felt that everything would not go so smoothly. In such an atmosphere, the birthday party of the Hyuga clan leader ended quietly. Unlike what she had imagined, nothing special happened. Except that she saw that the Hyuga clan was not as harmonious as she had imagined at the birthday party. There were no extra programs. After the birthday party, Uchiha Yu took the well-fed Uchiha Bayu and said goodbye. Hyuga Wuyu directly sent Uchiha Yu to the gate of the Hyuga clan and expressed his apologies for letting him see the not-so-good side of the Hyuga clan. Hyuga Wuyu's entire behavior and attitude were completely impeccable. When Uchiha Yu and Uchiha Bayu just returned to the gate of the Hyuga dojo, they happened to meet Senju Tobirama. They didn't know whether Tobirama was in a good mood at the moment, but his face was very bad. Because beside him, Hinata Muka, who waved goodbye to him, was rubbing his stomach and burping from time to time. Hinata Muka personally sent him back, while Hinata Muka did not send Uchiha Yu back, which made him slightly proud. But seeing Hinata Muka like that, he felt that it would be better not to send him back. Every time this girl, who was about the same age as him, inadvertently made some heartwarming moves, he would always feel angry or not, and wanted to laugh but didn't know how to laugh. Unfortunately, the girl was so thoughtful. This is a guy who lives on instinct. And such a person is exactly what Tobirama Senju has no choice but to do. You want to try to use your intelligence to summarize what the other person is thinking, but you find that all the other person's actions are usually not considered by the brain. This touches on Tobirama Senju's blind spot in knowledge. But fortunately, he knows how to get along with such people. Because his elder brother is in this state most of the time. Uchiha Yu saw this scene, but he did not want to taunt and pull Uchiha Bayu to provoke. Because according to the taboo rules of taunting, if you are single, don't provoke those who show off their affection, otherwise you will be easily hurt. Uchiha Bayu doesn't understand these, but Uchiha Yu does, and he doesn't want Uchiha Bayu to lose face. Uchiha Yu pretended that he didn't see anything, pulled Uchiha Bayu, and went directly back to the dojo, and never came out again. However, a crow quietly landed on a tree outside the Tobirama dojo, like a night hunter, waiting for the moment of the final kill. Uchiha Yu must do it once with Senju Tobirama. Otherwise, Uchiha Yu's thoughts are not clear. As expected, Senju Tobirama is also planning something, so Uchiha Yu has no pressure at all for this shot. It depends on who is more skilled. Of course, whether it is Uchiha Yu or Senju Tobirama, they all have their own ideas. Senju Tobirama didn't want his elder brother to know that he was targeting Uchiha Yu. Uchiha Yu didn't want the death of Senju Tobirama to affect the future of Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama. Therefore, Uchiha Yu couldn't be killed by Senju Tobirama, he could only die by accident, by the hands of the ninjas of the Kagaya clan. Therefore, Senju Tobirama couldn't be killed by Uchiha Yu, at least not this time. He could only be killed by the Kagaya clan, or be killed by an unknown assassin, or simply disappear from the world. In short, he couldn't die at the hands of the Uchiha. Therefore, Uchiha Yu in the Hyuga dojo was waiting, and Senju Tobirama in the opposite Hyuga dojo was also waiting. They were all waiting for an opportunity. And while they were waiting, the opportunity finally appeared. A group of ninjas quietly approached the Hyuga clan's territory during the Hyuga clan leader's birthday. The Hyuga ninjas who were monitoring the surrounding areas of Hyuga seemed not to have seen these ninjas, and they were still patrolling and on duty there peacefully. Finally, the ninjas passed through a sentry post and went deep into the clan land. During the whole process, the Hyuga ninjas with their eyes open seemed to be blind and could not see anything. You can never wake up a person who pretends to be asleep. You can never let a person who pretends to be blind see you. Tonight, the moonlight is bright and it is a clear night. But people in the Naruto world always lack appreciation for the moon. Even because of history, the moon has become a synonym for ominous in word of mouth. And the moonlight tonight, shrouding the Hyuga clan land, faintly, has a touch of blood. No one knows when the fight happened. They only know that when someone reacted, the team had already entered the Hyuga clan land and killed many ninjas. When someone noticed something was wrong and rushed to support, they saw the scene they least wanted to see. They saw that their clan leader, who had just celebrated his birthday, had blood holes all over his body at several fatal weaknesses, and the blood was still flowing, and his vitality was dissipating uncontrollably. In his last moments, Hyuga Hitoshi pointed in a direction with his last strength and said, "Save my daughter." After that, Hyuga Hitoshi was completely dead. Everyone looked around and found that the rooms belonging to Hyuga Muzuki and Hyuga Muka in the courtyard of the Hyuga clan leader were empty at the moment. Kagaya clan, you dared to kill our clan leader, the Hyuga clan will never stop fighting you. Everyone, come with me to save the young lady. An elder of the Hyuga clan spoke angrily, and then led a group of ninjas to chase in the direction pointed by Hyuga Hitoshi. The furious Hyuga, without the previous compromise, showed the strength of the third family of the Land of Fire. The ninjas who had been rushing in another direction were finally intercepted in a canyon by the Hyuga clan who were familiar with the surrounding terrain. A battle was about to break out. In the sky, a black crow was circling silently, watching the scene quietly, without any intention of taking action. In another direction, a team heading in another direction, seemingly also searching for the daughter of the Hyuga clan leader, was stopped by a figure that suddenly appeared. The Hyuga ninja in the team looked at the newcomer cautiously, was stunned at first, and then shouted cautiously. It turned out to be Captain Tobirama. I don't know why you stopped us. We still have to chase the attackers. No need to chase, I've already caught up. Captain Tobirama, we don't understand what you mean. Put down Hyuga Muka, I don't care about the others, otherwise, you all have to stay. Senju Tobirama looked at the group of people wearing Hyuga costumes indifferently. Although he is only 10 years old now, he is like Uchiha in one hand, and his words are overbearing and cannot be refused. The Hyuga ninja originally wanted to explain something, but he saw that in the woods behind Senju Tobirama, one by one, the thousand-hand ninjas emerged from the jungle. Each thousand-hand ninja has an extraordinary momentum, which makes the group of Hyuga ninjas sweat. You don't really think there's only one Nara ninja left by my side? Senju Tobirama looked at the Hyuga ninjas with a mocking look on his face. Then he glanced at the Hyuga clan, and saw several different figures, and said lightly, "The Senju clan doesn't want to care about your Hyuga clan's mess. But I don't want to repeat nonsense for the second time. I just want Hyuga Muka. You have 3 breaths to think about it now. 1, 2, wait." Before Senju Tobarama counted 3, the leading Hyuga ninja finally gave in. With a wave of his hand, the 2 ninjas behind him lifted a sack and asked someone to put it next to the big tree next to him. When the sack was opened, a face of Hyuga Muka was revealed. "Can we leave now?" "Go away." Senju Tobarama spoke, and the group of ninjas secretly breathed a sigh of relief, bypassed the group of Senju ninjas, and went away. Senju Tobarama was originally thinking about whether to continue the pursuit, but suddenly felt something was wrong. He suddenly picked up Hyuga Muka, but saw that a burning detonating talisman was attached to her back at some point. Boom! The sound of clothes breaking and the roar of the detonating talisman almost sounded one after another, causing a puff of smoke and dust in the forest. When all the chaos was gone, Senju Tobarama appeared again. His figure was a little staggering, and some blood was flowing from his forehead at this moment, looking a little embarrassed. And the Senju uniform on his body had been taken off at this moment and draped over the girl in his arms. At this moment, Senju Tobarama was full of boyfriend power. Unfortunately, except for a crow, no one else saw it. "Hyuga clan, do you think you can escape like this? This time, your opponents are not only Senju, but also a group of lunatics." Senju Tobarama muttered to himself, holding Hyuga Muka, and prepared to rush towards the direction of the Hyuga clan. At this moment, Tobarama Senju, who was born with amazing sensitivity, suddenly felt a shiver in his hair. Tobarama Senju didn't even think about it, and just wanted to dodge instantly. Unfortunately, he was still holding Hyuga Muka in his arms, which made him hesitate. And this hesitation made him be pierced by a blade from behind. Tobarama Senju looked at his pierced body and wanted to look back to see who the opponent who attacked him was. Unfortunately, there was no one behind him. Because of the injury, the shadow clones disguised as the thousand-hand ninjas released outside were released one by one, but they still didn't see who the attacker was. It was just a black shadow that passed by him and then disappeared, and he didn't see it clearly at all. Even the blade that pierced his body was the most common weapon, and there was no way to check it. There was no evidence for everything. However, it was precisely this situation that made Tobarama Senju understand who the attacker was. Because to some extent, he also wanted to do something similar to the other party. However, the opponent's movements were faster, more ruthless, and more decisive than his own. At this moment, Senju Tobarama slowly fell to the ground, not daring to move too much. This knife was so ruthless that it directly pierced his heart. If he moved at all at this moment, his body would bleed. Even if he didn't move, as his heart beat instinctively again and again, streams of blood would flow out of his heart little by little. Ordinary medical ninjutsu can slowly heal some stable wounds, but the continuous expansion and beating of the heart is equivalent to constantly closing and cracking the wound. Except for the super domineering self-healing ability, ordinary chakra stimulation methods can't keep up with the treatment. So, he's finished. After understanding this, Senju Tobarama felt a lot of unwillingness in his heart. He had many things to do. He had a big brother who made him worry, and he wanted to stop the evil Uchiha. However, all these reluctance and worries, along with the blood flowing out of his body, gradually took away his vitality and consciousness, and gradually made him lose the strength to continue thinking. He weakly let go of the hand holding Hinata Wuhua, and the blood slid down the blade in front of him, dripping on the face of Hinata Wuhua he was holding. Hinata Wuhua, who was originally unconscious, vaguely felt something, but slowly woke up. The first scene that Hinata Wuhua saw when she opened her eyes was Senju Tobarama falling there on the verge of death, and she was completely panicked. "Captain Tobarama, you. When Tobarama Senju saw the helpless Hinata Muka, his originally unwilling expression suddenly brightened, and he forced himself to speak. "Foodie, I may not be able to make it. Listen, help me tell my brother a message, Tobarama Senju opened his mouth and wanted to tell his last words. This might be the only thing he could do. However, before he finished speaking, Hinata Muka directly pulled out the knife from his body. What are you doing? I will treat you. Don't you know that this will make me die faster?" Tobarama Senju looked at the foodie girl in front of him and wanted to say something else, but he couldn't catch his breath, and blood spurted out directly, spraying high. Quote. At this moment, Tobarama Senju looked at the Hinata foodie in front of him. He wanted to say something about the national quintessence, but that would only accelerate the arrival of death. The girl didn't care about the change in Senju Tobarama's expression. In a panic, she used the Hyuga soft fist. She hit Senju Tobarama's wound with a palm. The body that was still bleeding stopped bleeding under the soft fist. Of course, the blow also hit Senju Tobarama's heart very accurately. The bleeding stopped, but Tobarama's heart also stopped. Senju Tobarama died. Cause of death, soft fist piercing the heart. However, the girl looked at Senju Tobarama's body, but did not stop her actions. She slowly raised her hands, and a light green chakra light came out of her hands. With precise chakra manipulation, she carried the green chakra into the body of Senju Tobarama. Senju Tobarama's body was not yet cold. Under the stimulation of the chakra full of vitality, the pierced wound actually recovered from the inside out at a speed visible to the naked eye. A moment later, the girl hit Senju Tobarama again, and the dead Senju Tobarama suddenly twitched. Seeing that it was effective, the girl hit him several more times in a row. Until Senju Tobarama, whose heart was not beating and whose body was about to cool down, was completely restored to life under this constant stimulation as if he had restarted. Ahem, what happened just now? I seem to see a white-bearded old man waving at me. Senju Tobarama looked around with a confused look on his face. He remembered that his life was almost coming to an end, and he saw the light guiding him. Suddenly, he felt hammered back by a force. Captain Tobarama, you're awake, great. You saved me. Yes, I'm not very talented, and I'm not good at soft fist techniques, so I thought about becoming a medical ninja and studied a lot of emergency plans. Captain Tobarama, you're the first person I saved, you're really amazing. Quote. Hearing what Hyuga Wuhua said, the thanks that Senju Tobarama was about to say got stuck in his throat. Why did he feel something was wrong the more he listened to this? However, looking at Hyuga Wuhua, who looked serious and a little excited, Senju Tobarama's smart brain quickly integrated a series of operations that Hyuga Wuhua had just performed, and he couldn't help but cover his face. At this moment, he probably understood what Hyuga Wuhua meant. What Hyuga Wuhua did to make him suffer cardiac arrest just now was actually to seal his heart with soft fists, and use medical ninjutsu to repair his heart while his body didn't feel that he was dead yet. After repairing his body, he used soft fists to reactivate his heart again. This process seems simple, but there is a risk. That is, before the body is healed, a person has to survive the period of cardiac arrest. That is, the vitality of their Senju clan is much stronger than that of ordinary people. Otherwise, the ending would not be so easy for any other race. Therefore, Senju Tobarama's attitude towards Hinata Muka at this moment is complicated. Hinata Muka did save his life, which is indisputable. However, the luck component contained in this rescue process is much higher than the level of Hinata Muka's medical ninjutsu. Before Senju Tobarama could sort out his mood to face Hinata Muka burst into tears. Woo woo woo. Foodie, what's wrong with you? Father was killed by them, and my sister was also captured by them. Don't worry, your sister will be fine, those people can't get away. Really. Senju Tobarama looked at Hyuga Wuhua with tears in her eyes looking at him. He didn't explain too much, just touched his chest. The penetrating wound in front of him was not completely healed, and he felt a dull pain at this moment. When he came out to rescue, he met Uchiha Yu who just came out. As a hostile force of the Uchiha clan, how could he not know what the attack just now was? The ghost team of the Uchiha clan may have come here. There was even a momentary feeling that made him think that it might be Uchiha Yu who took action. However, thinking of Uchiha Yu's age, he shook his head and rejected this idea. Because of his arrogance, in terms of talent and ability, he thought that besides his brother and Madara, only Uchiha Izuna could be on par with him. Therefore, Senju Tobarama believed that it was the ghost squad secretly sent by Uchiha who did it. This was the first time that Senju Tobarama faced the ghost squad, and it almost became the last time. The extreme speed made his shadow clones hiding around him unable to capture the opponent's appearance. This terrible instant assassination, no wonder the ghost squad on the battlefield would make the frontline ninjas as scared as a nightmare. The ghost squad is too scary. In addition to wood release, we must think of other ways to restrain it. Senju Tobarama swore in his heart. This time he was able to survive, and Senju Tobarama felt that he had overdrawn his lifetime of luck. No, it should be someone who brought him good luck. Thinking of this, Senju Tobarama looked at Hinata Muka, who was sitting quietly beside him, and he had fallen asleep unconsciously. Gently checking Hinata Wuhua's body, he found that her chakra had already been exhausted. She had just been relying on a single force to hold on. Seeing this, Senju Tobarama showed a rare tenderness on his helpless face. This was the first time he showed his tenderness to someone other than his clan, and it was also the first time that he began to seriously think about his elder brother's innocent and childish dream. Can elder brother's dream really come true? This was also the first time that Senju Tobarama looked forward to his elder brother's dream. What Senju Tobarama didn't know was that the crow hiding in the dark quietly saw this scene, and a trace of regret flashed in his eyes, but more of it was confusion. Senju Tobarama changed. Although Uchiha Yu believed in the saying that there are great terrors and great opportunities between life and death, he was very upset when he encountered it for the first time, and it was not himself. But more of it made him feel curious. Is it an accident or fate? Or, it is a pusher from the dark? Uchiha Yu thought of this, and his eyes couldn't help but look at the jungle in the distance. He felt a familiar breath among the group of ninjas. Senju Hashirama, a person who shouldn't appear, has appeared. Uchiha Yu saw this and knew that it was no longer possible. After taking a look at Senju Tobarama, he restrained the idea of continuing to attack. It was not because Senju Tobarama could not be killed, but because there was no need. At this moment, he did not have much powerlessness in his heart that fate could not be changed, but instead had some playful contemplation. If Senju Hashirama did not appear, Uchiha Yu might still feel that his mentality had exploded, wondering if he was being controlled by the so-called world will of this world. However, Senju Hashirama appeared. The person who should not have appeared, which made Uchiha Yu feel that things might not be so bad. This means that those who want to prevent Senju Tobarama from being killed have double insurance. This means that his actions are not a small problem that can be solved at will for some beings, and they also need to be carefully arranged to deal with. This means that the existence that secretly dominates this fate script may have extraordinary means and clever means, but it is by no means omniscient and omnipotent. As for Senju Tobarama, his role to that existence is that he is a chess piece that cannot be discarded. Others may not know the talent of Senju Tobarama, but Uchiha Yu must know it. Think about Senju Tobarama's contributions to the future of the ninja world, especially the thick book of seals. Uchiha Yu felt that he seemed to have guessed who was behind the scenes. Otsutsuki Hagoromo, did I disrupt your script? What are you planning? Uchiha Yu thought, and sensing the upcoming support team of Senju, he quietly released his crow clone. And a place a few kilometers away from here. Uchiha Yu wiped the bloody knife in his hand while sorting out the memories passed by the shadow clone in his mind, sighing in his heart. I didn't expect such a change. But, speaking of it, I really don't want to kill you. Killing Senju Tobarama is to remember what Senju Tobarama did to Uchiha before, and the matter of the sealed book. And now, after discovering the pusher of Otsutsuki Hagoromo, he suddenly realized that the person playing against him might not be Senju Tobarama. So, his killing intention towards Senju Tobarama is not so obvious. Moreover, he also wants to see the ninjutsu of the sealed book. Many of those jutsu are forbidden jutsu, which is very difficult to practice and even has many side effects. However, he has compensation points. He can also use compensation points to complete the ninjutsu, and even make the ninjutsu go further on the basis of completing the ninjutsu. All these are very exciting for him. Thinking of this, Uchiha Yu temporarily suppressed his thoughts. He looked back and looked at the position behind him. Behind Uchiha Yu, a sack was opened, revealing the face of a girl. The girl had beautiful skin, decoration and body shape, all exactly like Hyuga Wuyu. The only difference was that ordinary face, which was unusually soft at this moment, like a soft jade statue leaning against a tree, unconscious. Not far from the girl, more than a dozen corpses fell there unwillingly, and everyone's eyes were wide open, as if they couldn't believe that they would die like that. Among these people, there were people from the Hyuga clan, and there were also people from the Kagaya clan disguised as the Hyuga clan. As for what happened tonight, it was also very simple. There was a problem within the Hyuga clan, and someone wanted to launch a coup to seize power. Some people from the Hyuga clan secretly colluded with the Kagaya clan, and at the cost of letting the Kagaya clan assassinate the Hyuga clan leader, they were ready to secretly unite with the Kagaya clan at that time. During this process, some members of the Hyuga clan led the fugitives of the Kagaya clan into the clan territory and quietly led away the ninjas guarding near the clan leader. Then, the Hyuga clan leader faced the Kagaya clan's siege, and his two fists could not fight four hands. In addition, his two daughters were held hostage by the Kagaya clan and distracted, and he was eventually killed by the Kagaya clan. Now, although Senju Tobarama saved Hyuga Muka and Uchiha Yu saved Hyuga Muzuki, after the death of Hyuga Hitoshi, the Hyuga clan will change. The two sisters who were originally excluded by the family because of their impure bloodline will definitely have a hard time if they go back. And Hyuga Hitoshi seemed to have anticipated such a day, so he thought of a way out for his daughter. If they have the opportunity to rely on the strong, get rid of the Hyuga clan, hide their identities, and live well. Of course, the above is just the situation shown by the Hyuga clan. As for what it is like in secret, Uchiha Yu doesn't want to guess, nor does he guess. Sometimes, the big fake seems to be true. A family that can control their faces, make some expressions, and practice some acting skills, who knows what level they can reach. Uchiha Yu doesn't want to compete with the Hyuga clan in acting skills, nor does he want to care how sincere the Hyuga clan is. Hyuga Hirata, at the cost of death, set up such a game. Not only he saw this, I believe the Senju side can also sense it. These are actually not important. What's important is what kind of chips the Hyuga clan can come up with. What's important is what kind of value Hyuga Wuyu can show. At this moment, Hyuga Wuyu, who is not far away, has his eyes slightly moved, but he is about to wake up from a coma. Where am I? Captain Yu, you saved me. Why do you say you saved me? Could it be that I kidnapped you? Because my father arranged it. The Hyuga rebels and the Kagaya clan kidnapped me and left the Hyuga clan. Hehe, you are smarter than I thought. No matter how smart you are, you still can't escape Captain Yu's eyes, right? Instead of continuing to pretend, I think it might be better to be honest. This is also your smartest point. Tell me, what use are you to me? It depends on what master you needs me to do. Want to change into my shape? Sorry, there are too many people like this around me. They are all surnamed Uchiha. I don't seem to need one more person, and this person doesn't make me feel at ease. Then, how can I make Captain Yu feel at ease? Show me. The Hyuga clan will expel me soon. Not enough. Although I didn't inherit the physique of the Hyuga clan, I inherited my mother's blood limit. Although I didn't refine chakra, but I have been exercising all the time. Quote. Not enough. I know how to practice Hyuga's soft fist technique. Not enough. When I left the Hyuga clan, I took 1/3 of the Hyuga clan's resources. Uchiha Wuyu, what are you still standing there for? Come back with me and pack up, don't delay the trip. Resources or not, Uchiha Wuyu doesn't care, he just can't stand the girl being homeless and displaced, especially the girl with a lot of money. Quote. Quote. Looking at Uchiha Yu, who changes his face faster than turning a book, Hyuga Wuyu feels that his previous acting skills are a bit wasted. This man doesn't eat cakes. The moon was covered by a layer of dark clouds. The night that should have been quiet lasted for a long time in the chaotic fight of Hyuga ninjas. When Uchiha Yu brought Hyuga Wuyu back to the Hyuga dojo, he saw a group of people waiting there. Ban, why are you here? Quote. Although Uchiha Yu was surprised when he saw the person coming, he quickly understood in his heart. Where there is Madara, there is Hashirama. Where Hashirama is, how could Madara not appear? Sure enough, Uchiha Madara heard Uchiha Yu's question and explained. He had just arrived not long ago. Originally, he and Hashirama were chasing the Kagaya ninja together, but Hashirama seemed to feel that Senju Tobarama was in danger, so they separated temporarily. As for why Senju Hashirama could feel it and find the place where Senju Tobarama was so quickly, Uchiha Madara explained that there might be some way for them to communicate. As for ninjas, no matter how special their abilities are, they can be explained by special ninjutsu. Brother Yu, who is this? Quote, after Uchiha Madara finished speaking, Uchiha Bayu, who stayed aside, was the first to notice the woman next to his idol. The most important thing is that the woman was wearing the uniform of the Hyuga clan. My new subordinate, I plan to take her to Bayu town to help later. After hearing this, Madara glanced at Hyuga Wuyu with a little scrutiny, but finally nodded without saying anything more. Unlike Uchiha Bayu, Uchiha Madara has a deeper understanding of Uchiha Yu. Especially Uchiha Yu's brain. A woman who can be brought by Uchiha Yu will definitely not make a big wave. The next day, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama met, and the ninjas on both sides were on edge. Fortunately, Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama were suppressing them, and both sides could only attack each other with their eyes. In this regard, Uchiha had an advantage. Under the leadership of Uchiha Yu, all of them turned on the Sharingan searchlights. Although they did not use their pupil power on the other side, the sense of oppression came up immediately. Uchiha, a small victory. Afterwards, Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara integrated the information and roughly understood the current situation of the Hyuga clan. The clan leader was assassinated by the Kagaya clan, and the Hyuga clan suffered heavy losses when chasing the Kagaya clan. Some of the Kagaya ninjas ran away, and the Hyuga clan held a funeral for the clan leader, so they could only withdraw the Hyuga ninjas everywhere. After the funeral of the Hyuga clan leader is completed, the Hyuga clan will announce to the public that they will fight to the death with the Kagaya clan and will not let go of any Kagaya ninja who is still in the land of fire. In short, the Hyuga clan has expressed its firm will to fight against Kagaya, but it is equivalent to not expressing it. However, the Hyuga clan is cruel enough. Directly sacrificing the clan leader makes it difficult for the Senju and Uchiha to say anything. And this blow to the Kagaya clan is almost enough. The core of the Senju and Uchiha is expulsion, and there is no idea of completely destroying them. After all, the powerful ninja clan that can occupy the land of fire really wants to force the Kagaya clan into a corner. Fighting with the Uchiha or Senju ninja clan to the death will only benefit the other party. Therefore, with this idea in mind, the clan leaders of the Senju and Uchiha sides also made a decision this morning. This battle is over. The ninjas of the Senju and Uchiha sides can return to their clan directly. They agreed to say goodbye to each other at this time. However, after the Senju and Uchiha clans parted ways, Uchiha Yu had a suggestion. Ban, no matter what the reason and process of this matter are, the result to the outside world is that the Hyuga clan paid a heavy price. Leaving like this will affect the reputation of our Uchiha clan. Affect the reputation. Do we have to let the Uchiha clan apologize to them? That's not necessary. Isn't it the minimum demeanor of a big clan to attend the funeral of the Hyuga clan leader? HMPH, Hyuga Hikari, is he worthy? It doesn't matter whether Hyuga Hikari is worthy or not. As long as the Uchiha thinks he is worthy even if he is not worthy. Quote. You, why can you always convince me with the same words? Maybe. My voice is nice. Uchiha Yu smiled and naturally would not tell Ban. This is the charm of language. Another day. In the early morning, the weather was gloomy, a little hot and humid, and there seemed to be a little rain, which was similar to the day when the third generation was buried. Uchiha Yu wore a black dress, and so did the other Uchiha. In the crowd, Uchiha Wuyu also wore black clothes, holding a white flower in his hand, with a sad and complicated expression. She followed Uchiha Yu closely and slowly went towards the Hyuga clan. When they were about to reach the gate of the Hyuga clan, they also saw a group of people. Madara saw an acquaintance among the group of people at a glance. Hashirama, Madara, I didn't expect you to come here. Madara, it seems that you and I have the same idea. Humph, what you can think of, how can I not think of it? You really understand me. The Hyuga clan has suffered a great disaster, and we must express our feelings anyway. Senju Hashirama said. Uchiha Madara was stunned for a moment, and looked back at Uchiha Yu next to him. Uchiha Yu gave Uchiha Madara a look. Same. Uchiha Madara didn't say much, Then he and Senju Hashirama led the Uchiha and Senju group to the Hyuga clan. Although the Hyuga clan was not friendly to the Senju and Uchiha after this incident, the Senju and Uchiha came to worship after all. As a big clan, they still had the most basic etiquette. Throughout the whole process, Uchiha Yu followed Uchiha Madara and watched quietly, and by the way, he looked at whether there was a figure of Hyuga Muka in the crowd in the Senju area. Finally, he saw a boy with red eyes next to Senju Tobirama. Although he didn't open the Sharingan, his insight was comparable to that of the three Magatama, so he could naturally see that it was a transformation technique. Uchiha Yu observed the Senju side, and Senju Tobirama was also observing the Uchiha side. His eyes also fell on Hyuga Muka. Seeing the face of Hinata Mugetsu, Senju Tobirama was stunned at first, and then he said with disdain. Obviously, the face of Hinata Mugetsu was suspected by Senju Tobirama. Even Senju Hyuga Muka, who was on the Uchiha side, also had some doubts when she looked at Hyuga Mizuki on the Uchiha side. Obviously, she was also a little puzzled about her sister's appearance. However, there was no communication between the two of them in the Hyuga clan. After waiting for everything to end, the Uchiha and Senju clans left the Hyuga clan and went to the Hyuga Taoist temple where they were stationed before. The team led by Uchiha Madara and Senju Hashirama left first. Uchiha Bayu, and the Nara ninja who followed Senju Tobirama, also left with the large group. Only Uchiha Yu and Senju Tobirama stood facing each other not far from Tansho Street, with a faint spark of confrontation in their eyes. In a separate courtyard not far away, the two sisters Hyuga Muka and Hyuga Mizuki were saying goodbye to each other. Hey, isn't this the cold-faced second young master of the Senju family? When did he become so tender? I, Tobirama Senju, have a clear distinction between gratitude and resentment. I will repay those who save me and I will avenge those who kill me. Tisk, 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 there is actually someone who can threaten the second young master of Senju. I'm really curious. Don't worry, it won't be long before you will experience it. I hope you will be as lucky as me then. Don't say that, I sound so scary. Is there anything that Uchiha is afraid of? Of course there is. Uchiha is afraid that he will accidentally lose Senju and have no opponents to have fun with in the future. In the future, Uchiha can only have fun and misery. I hope Senju won't be too happy and end up in sorrow. HMPH. Tisk. In the short verbal output, no one achieved outstanding results. It's not that Uchiha Yu's pretending to escape is no longer effective, but that he no longer wants to waste time on Tobirama Senju. He is too lazy to think of a way to beat an opponent who has no interest in him. An hour later, Hinata Mizuki and Hinata Muka walked out of the courtyard without saying anything else, and stood behind Uchiha Yu and Senju Tobirama respectively. The next time we meet, it will be the day of your death. You won't see me next time. Quote. Quote. In the end, Uchiha Yu still couldn't hold back his competitive spirit, choked Senju Tobirama, and turned away. It's normal for a 10-year-old boy to be a little sharp, especially against a hostile ninja clan. Chapter 91. 2 days later, in the Uchiha clan, Uchiha Tajima held a celebration banquet to commend the Uchiha who were brave in this encirclement and suppression battle, and also to sigh for the Uchiha who died unexpectedly in this battle. Among them, Uchiha Yu captured a group of Kagaya ninjas disguised as Hyuga clan, which was considered a merit. As a reward, Uchiha Tajima asked Uchiha Yu to go to the secret library to pick things. In the Uchiha secret library, there was nothing that Uchiha Yu was interested in, and Uchiha Tajima's reward was a bit perfunctory. However, Uchiha Yu still accepted it. He did not learn any special secret techniques, but read through all kinds of ninjutsu collected by the Uchiha clan, which was within the scope allowed by the Uchiha. The perfection of the seal technique has given him the ability to analyze ninjutsu independently. What he needs now is a large number of ninjutsu comparisons, and then from countless comparisons, he can continuously improve his personal ninjutsu literacy, so as to facilitate the creation of methods in the future. This process is like a person reading a sentence through pinyin, and then summarizing the meaning of each word through pinyin. When the number of words learned increases, he can freely combine those words according to his own understanding, form the language he wants to express, and create the ninjutsu he wants to create. After the reward was completed, some people who lost their family pillars were given pensions and condolences, and some relatives and friends of the dead Uchiha said that they would take care of each other's children and wives. Then, it was about the handling of the issue of Kagaya captives. Yes, this large-scale encirclement and suppression dispersed the entire Kagaya clan. Although a small number of people broke through the defense line, most of them stayed here. Many of them directly became nutrients for the land of fire, while some were captured by Senju and Uchiha. Originally, Uchiha wanted to kill them all and waste their own food. However, the Senju clan retained some captives, so the Uchiha clan naturally had to have some as well. Therefore, the captives on the Uchiha clan were saved. However, the Kagaya clan is famous for not fearing torture. The more you torture them, the more comfortable they feel, just like perverts. For this reason, Uchiha Tajima summoned some confidants to discuss, including his sons and Uchiha Yu. I have 3 requirements for the treatment of Kagaya. First, they can't have an easy life. Second, they can't have an easy life. Third, they can't have an easy life. Well, Kagaya is really useless to the Uchiha clan, and even the Uchiha clan doesn't want to tame this clan for their own use. Those who are not of my clan must have different hearts. Instead of keeping them in the clan like a time bomb to threaten the clan members, it is better to kill them all and sacrifice them for the dead Uchiha to relieve the pain of the clan members losing their loved ones. In this regard, other Uchiha didn't have any good ideas. Uchiha Madara was a little hesitant because he saw that Hashirama Senju wanted to gather this group of people, but he couldn't think of any good way. He could only look at Uchiha Yu, hoping that Uchiha Yu would have a good solution. Uchiha Yu saw this, and he didn't have any thoughts at first, but when Uchiha Tajima just said it, he accidentally heard that there was a rare bloodline of the Kagaya clan among these prisoners of war. Corpse vein. Thinking of the corpse vein, Uchiha Yu's feet had some faint phantom pain. This revenge must be avenged. Clan leader, let me take this group of people to Bayu town. Oh, Yu, what do you think? The Kagaya clan are all hard bones who are not afraid of death, but what if they are worse off than dead? There are 9 ways to make them worse off than dead in Bayu town, 9 ways. Uchiha Yu made a 9 gesture. At first, Uchiha Tajima didn't believe it. However, after Uchiha Yu told him about the tortures he knew, he was stopped by Uchiha Tajima after hearing only 2 or 3. Yu, restrain yourself. The captives of Kagaya belong to him. This was the last thing Uchiha Tajima said to him. Obviously, in this world of hot-blooded anime, even if there is cruelty hidden behind it, it can't stop the dregs left over from thousands of years of cultural heritage. In terms of excellence, we can be quite excellent. In terms of dirtiness, we can be dirtier than anyone else. There is nothing that our ancestors haven't played with. If there is, it is that our ancestors think it is perverted and has not been passed down. Uchiha Yu stayed in the clan for another half a month, and taught the 3 brothers Uchiha Bayu, Mura, and Ya a few days of practice skills. In the middle, Uchiha Izuna even secretly listened for a while. It has to be said, the existence of full-level compensation points makes Uchiha Yu's abilities in some aspects full-level, and his guidance ability is also full-level, which belongs to the type of knowing the facts and the reasons. This time, Uchiha Yu let the Uchiha brothers know what erudition is. And Uchiha Izuna also deeply realized that, unknowingly, Uchiha Yu did not know how much he had grown. And this time, it seems that he has blossomed in all aspects, and he seems to know everything and is good at everything. There is nothing that he can't do in ninjutsu and taigen. In the subsequent contest with Madara, they fought back and forth and fought evenly. Especially in terms of combat awareness, he showed an ability that was not inferior to Uchiha Madara at all. However, Uchiha Yu still hid his shortcomings after all. Before the battle, he separated 30 crow clones in advance, but only less than 30% of the chakra in his heyday remained in his body. After fighting with Uchiha Madara for more than 20 minutes, his chakra was exhausted and he had no choice but to retreat. In this duel, Uchiha Yu actually didn't want to accept it. It was Uchiha Tajima's request that forced him to take action. There were also many Uchiha members who came to watch the fight. Uchiha Tajima's meaning is self-evident. He wanted to use this fight to strengthen his son's prestige and completely make the young generation no longer doubt Uchiha Madara's ability. Unfortunately, This fight was not very convincing. Although Uchiha Yu lost, he only lost because of insufficient chakra. Madara is 3 years older than you. When Uchiha Yu grows up another 3 years, he may not be much worse than Uchiha Madara. However, Uchiha Yu did not show the idea of fighting, and many Uchiha members did not want to see something similar to the Hyuga clan, so they didn't say much. And Uchiha Yu passed the test of the good uncle again. But this time, Uchiha Yu felt that Uchiha Tajima was not testing him, but letting Uchiha Yu see the attitude of his clan members clearly. This was pointing at him. This good uncle was the only one who knew the specific situation of the Ghost Squadron. He probably knew that he could not suppress Uchiha Yu, so he transitioned from military deterrence to moral kidnapping. Good nephew, the Uchiha clan is so united, you don't want to let the Uchiha clan face chaos because of unreasonable ideas, right? Unfortunately, Uchiha Yu had no such idea at all. At least, he didn't want to compete with Madara for the position of clan leader for the time being. Although the Uchiha family inheritance for so many years has made it profound, it has also left a lot of dregs. Instead of accepting it all, it is better to cultivate a new branch by yourself, take a new Uchiha, and explore and develop in other directions. Moreover, Uchiha Yu has no morals. Since his uncle is so sensitive, if he doesn't ask for something, his uncle will not be at ease. Therefore, in order to make his uncle feel at ease and for the stability of the family, Uchiha Yu can only complain to his uncle against his conscience before leaving the Uchiha clan, and then desperately ask for it. Uncle, I am suffering. The Uchiha in Bayu town have a hard life. Uchiha Yu told his good uncle about his hardships, and expressed his idea of transforming Bayu town, hoping that the good uncle would be generous and provide money and people. Uchiha Tajima felt a little uncomfortable about this. Although Uchiha Yu's performance reassured him, it also made him feel painful. Uchiha Yu Tajima couldn't give too many resources. Just kidding, the clan land also needs to be built, and his son will need it to train people in the future, so how could he squander it casually? However, Uchiha Tajima gave a lot of Uchiha clan members. Those people are ordinary people of the growing Uchiha clan. Because these people are not qualified to become ninjas and have insufficient ability to open blood, they can only do some daily work in the clan land. And because they are not ninjas and are protected by Uchiha ninjas, the lifespan of these Uchiha clan members is very long, and many of them are still Uchiha Tajima's grandfather or even great-grandfather. This group of people can't play too much value in the clan land, but they need Uchiha, the clan leader, to comfort and subsidize them frequently, which has already annoyed Uchiha Tajima. This time, it was just right for Uchiha Yu to take a group away to relieve some of his pressure. In addition, there were some lonely old and young people who were not of much value in the clan except for receiving relief. Uchiha Tajima said that as long as these people were willing, they could be taken away together. In this regard, Uchiha Yu did not promote anything, nor did he say anything polite, let alone draw any big cakes. He just secretly took out some lobsters, abalone, sea cucumbers, tuna, grouper and other things he brought from Bayu town from his space backpack. After cooking them simply and letting the people of the Uchiha clan taste them, he only said one sentence. "Follow me, these are so delicious." With one sentence, Uchiha Yu took away 1/3 of the Uchiha clan members, as well as a group of Uchiha teenagers who were not valued. Although most of these people did not have much cultivation qualifications, they all had Uchiha blood flowing in their bodies. No qualifications. Uchiha had qualifications as soon as they opened their eyes. Uchiha Yu is now trying to solve the secret of opening his eyes, and he doesn't care about who has good qualifications. Uchiha Tajima didn't expect Uchiha Yu to do this. But after reacting, Uchiha Tajima also smiled. These Uchiha are all burdens in the clan. Now that they are all gone, the Uchiha clan will be refreshed and resource consumption will be saved. Therefore, when Uchiha Yu decided to take this group of people away, the smile on Uchiha Tajima's face never stopped. Of course, we can't spoil this good uncle in everything. Before leaving, Uchiha Yu gave Uncle Uchiha a bloodletting. "Uncle, there are too many people. I can't support a place as big as Bayu town. Or, I don't want it. Good nephew, tell me, what do you want?" Uchiha Tajima didn't want his mood to fluctuate, so he finally compromised. Finally, After a round of bargaining with his good nephew, the final negotiation was completed, and under the witness of some Uchiha high-level officials in the clan, the agreement could not be changed. Aloud, Uchiha Yu freely built Bayu City, and the scope of Uchiha Yu's territory was expanded from the original Bayu town to the corner of the Fire Country. Bayu town is located in the coastal area of the Fire Country, across the sea from the Water Country, and there is also a small island country in the Wave Country in between. Uchiha took Bayu town as the base point and assigned all the coastal areas to Uchiha Yu for management. According to the current map of Uchiha, the area here is as much as 1/5 of the entire Uchiha territory. Of course, these bases are not so easy to get. Because it belongs to the coastal area, there are many small ninja clans of all sizes. Moreover, the coastal area, and there are often invasions from overseas ninjas from the land of water. The reason why Uchiha Tajima was so generous in handing over such a large territory to Uchiha Yu was, on the one hand, to find more things for Uchiha Yu to do and prevent him from coveting the position of clan leader. On the other hand, it was to make Uchiha Yu a shield for the Uchiha clan to resist the harassment of overseas ninjas in the rear, so that the Uchiha clan could devote more energy to compete with the Senju clan. In this regard, although Uchiha Yu looked like he had suffered a great loss, he was smiling in his heart. Although the location of the territory was as Uchiha Tajima thought, there were many troubles. However, those were just minor troubles for Uchiha Yu. The real battlefield of the Warring States period has always been in the Land of Fire. Because the resources here are the richest, the disputes will also be the most tragic. He is on the edge of the Land of Fire, living in a corner. Even if overseas ninjas harass him, it is just a minor fight. I am invincible below the Super Ninja. 1 for 1 above the Super Ninja. Well, 1 Crow Shadow clone for a Super Ninja. Fight, the turbulent times of the future are coming. It is no longer the era of relying on numbers between ninjas, but the era of 2 perverts driving Gundams to fight each other. Uchiha Yu said, "You can wander around as you like, as long as you don't look for him. I can survive until the establishment of Konoha village." With a different mind, Uchiha Yu was also afraid that he could not suppress his inner joy and happiness. After packing his bags, he decisively took these Uchiha clansmen away from the clan. Outside the Uchiha clan, behind the bustling team, Uchiha Madara and his brothers said goodbye to Uchiha Yu. "You, let's fight again next time we meet." "Okay, next time, I will research a stronger move, don't let me surpass you." "I will be afraid, but I am Uchiha Madara." Uchiha Madara is very confident. He is almost 14 years old. With the improvement of his own strength, he has already begun to have some domineering aura of Madara. However, because he has watched Madara grow up since he was a child, Uchiha Yu no longer has the admiration for Madara that he had in the past. What he has is just emotion. Uchiha Madara, he deserves to be slashed. In fact, all Uchiha who have opened their eyes deserve to be slashed, even Uchiha Tajima. Senju Tobarama said that the Uchiha clan has a serious illness, but Uchiha Yu did not agree. They just lacked a few times of reality polishing to tell these guys that some things cannot be changed by opening their eyes alone. However, such Uchiha would not be so cute. The Uchiha clan is the most awesome and does not accept any rebuttal. Uchiha Yu left, and with Madara watching, he left with a large number of Uchiha. Because there were old, weak, sick and disabled people, and there were a lot of luggage to carry, it took Uchiha Yu 3 days to rush back to Bayu town. However, when Uchiha Yu left the clan land, he used the Crow Shadow clone to rush back to Bayu town in advance, so that Uchiha Ming could prepare to welcome the arrival of new population. Originally, Bayu town could not carry so many people at once. However, in more than a year, Uchiha Ming designed the blueprint of Bayu City according to Uchiha Yu's instructions, and also built the general framework of Bayu town. During this process, a lot of houses were built outside Bayu town. Uchiha Ming was still a little dissatisfied at first. After all, these were the places they had worked hard to build, and they were somewhat unbalanced to let other Uchiha come and live indirectly. However, Uchiha Yu's Crow Shadow clone only said one sentence, which made Uchiha Ming's attitude turn 180 degrees directly. The rich woman brought money into the team, and Bayu City is ready to start construction. What Uchiha Yu didn't expect was that his words would bring a stronger reaction than he imagined. For example, when he returned to Bayu town with a group of Uchiha and Kagaya captives, he saw Bayu town decorated with lights and banners. It read, "Welcome the Uchiha family home." Single quote. Uchiha Ming even set up a buffet that he had accidentally heard about from Uchiha Yu, which moved the Uchiha who had just come and was a little nervous. Especially in terms of food, clothing, housing and transportation, it was simply unspeakably friendly, and it made the Uchiha people quickly integrate into the environment of Bayu town. Of course, speaking of this, we have to talk about the other ninja clans that originally existed in Bayu town. Uchiha is a relatively exclusive race, and even Uchiha Yu has been influenced by it in the subtle influence of these years. However, unlike others, Uchiha Yu has a longer-term vision and can learn from the future of the Senju clan. So, he thought of a way to go against the Senju way. All people in Bayu town have the surname Uchiha. This is written on the unique ID card of every villager in Bayu town, and only those who have an ID card are considered a member of Bayu town. As for whether the ninjas who once existed in Bayu town are willing, most of them are willing. Because in the Warring States period, having the name of Uchiha represents a kind of honor and stability. In the territory of Uchiha, even if you don't enjoy special treatment, you will not be bullied. This is also the original intention of many small ninja clans. Now, as long as you bear the name of Uchiha, it is to realize the original intention. Who would be unwilling? Of course, there are indeed. However, they either had an accident or changed their minds. What did you say? Humanitarianism, equality for all, love and justice. Sorry, Uchiha only talks about justice with the strong and love with family. All the guys outside Uchiha are enemies. So, when the Uchiha came to Uchiha, the whole Bayu town was theoretically Uchiha. As for the possible contradictions in the middle, Uchiha Yu is not worried, because he has almost found the root of erasing this contradiction. There are still some opportunities missing. In addition to the arrangements of Uchiha in all aspects, Uchiha Yu also wanted to make some arrangements for Hinata Wuyu, and give her a personal secret technique. However, what Uchiha Yu didn't expect was that Hinata Wuyu turned out to be a big heroine with a very independent self. Moreover, Uchiha Yu finally understood why Hinata Wuyu asked him what kind of person he needed at that time. Confidence. This is a confident statement of Hinata Wuyu. It is learned that Hyuga Matsuki is not very strong for Uchiha Yu, but he also has the strength of a Jonin. He knows the Nintagen. Although he has problems in practicing the soft fist method, he is proficient in the process. In addition, Hyuga Matsuki also knows the medical ninjutsu of the Hyuga clan. Although he does not have the Byakugan, he has a very deep understanding of the tendons and veins and can clearly know the direction of the tendons and veins. Moreover, his ability to control chakra is extremely superb. According to Hyuga Matsuki, the Hyuga clan observed the direction of the tendons and veins and found that the chakra can be controlled more and more exquisitely when it runs in the tendons and veins to a certain extent. That is a secret of the Hyuga clan that can only be mastered by the main family. Hyuga Matsuki only tried to study some of the fur because he knew it, but he did not really learn it. Hyuga Matsuki said that if Uchiha Yu needs it, he can the results of his own research. Uchiha Yu refused. He has the chakra refining technique, which can not only finely control chakra, but also finely control the body. In a few years, Hyuga Mizuki will understand how terrible he is. However, Uchiha is more interested in the soft fist. In particular, it is the heaven-turning technique in the soft fist. Although Hyuga Mizuki said that the soft fist requires the unique physique of the Hyuga clan to practice successfully, Uchiha Yu is still determined to learn. The soft fist heaven-turning technique is to release the body's chakra through the pores, and form a chakra-rotating barrier with no dead angles in the body with exquisite chakra control. This ability, in theory, is almost like a tortoise shell, except for the moves that are naturally countered by chakra, such as the Hungry Ghost Road. There is no other good way except for forcibly breaking it. What Uchiha Yu values is not the soft fist technique, but the kaiden, and the ability of the body's chakra to be released through the pores when the kaiden is performed. Ordinary ninjas cannot do this, only the special physique of the Hyuga clan can do it. He is indeed not suitable for practicing soft fist techniques. However, he has the talent of hard work and thousands of crow shadow clones. What will happen if he practices forcibly? Hyuga Wuyu couldn't understand Uchiha Yu's choice, but she accepted it very quickly. Because this is not the first time. Every time Hyuga Wuyu felt that she had figured out Uchiha Yu would make some decisions that he couldn't figure out, and even some choices that were beyond his expectations. But in the end, Hyuga Wuyu still taught Uchiha Yu the soft fist technique she knew. Of course, she didn't roll her eyes. This soft fist technique was not superb. It was just that Hyuga Hitoshi secretly taught him for self-defense. Later, because she found that her physique was inherited from her mother, she didn't continue to teach him. Hyuga soft fist cannot be practiced by anyone other than the Hyuga clan. Therefore, although the Hyuga clan has classified Hyuga soft fist as a secret, its protection is not even 1/10 as strict as the Byakugan. Uchiha Yu had some doubts about Hyuga Mugetsu's explanation of the process of learning the soft fist method. After all, although he died after meeting Hyuga Hitoshi only once, he had a long-standing spiritual relationship with this old fool. Especially the exquisite control of chakra by the Hyuga clan, which became more intense after Uchiha Yu mastered the chakra refining technique. On that turbulent night, some of the children of the Hyuga clan who did not look like the main family showed extraordinary chakra control. From the feeling, they were very similar to the suspected Thousand Hands ninja in the overseas ninja base outside Bayu City. The biggest doubt of Uchiha Yu about the Hyuga clan was that this family that played tricks would actually rebel. Moreover, it was a rebellion with Kaguya, and the clan leader died in the end. Although those who played tricks were all dirty. But it is undeniable that being able to play tricks so well, the control of human hearts and human nature is definitely excellent. The family is definitely not so scattered and disunited. However, Uchiha Yu has always kept a low profile on these. As long as the soft fist technique is true and can be transformed into his own skills, it will be fine. Many things do not necessarily have to have a truth, and it may be better to be confused. Because only in this way can he make others plot more against him and invest more in him. In some cases, Uchiha Yu accepted Hinata Wuyu because of a series of possible connections behind Hinata Wuyu. She has nothing, and relying on that 1/3 of Hinata resources, Uchiha Yu may choose to kill people and steal treasures. What? Hinata Wuyu is so beautiful, but he doesn't know how to cherish women. Please, he is only 10 years old, the age of a sage. Although he is reluctant to admit that he is still a child, his interest in women at this moment is not as great as that of some special summoned beasts. Of course, Uchiha Yu can't help but give Hinata Wuyu a little sweetness. He gave Hyuga Wuyu the right to choose his position independently. It is reasonable to bring money into the group and have the right to choose his own role. After thinking for 2 days, Hyuga Wuyu finally chose the position of Bayu Town Accountant. Of course, this position has another name. Financial Director of Bayu Future City Company, Limited. Yes, the future city in the White Mist. This is the White Mist city that Hyuga Wuyu is going to build for the future, and it has a new name. Uchiha Yu did not refuse this. Because the name, Future City in the White Mist, can still be shortened to White Mist City. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Bringing money into the group, all the resources are from others. The construction of the entire White Mist City in the future still depends on others' funding. What's wrong with letting others give it a name? Money, power, and strength. The proportion of these three increases from small to large. Mastering the economy means mastering resources. Mastering power means mastering manpower. Mastering strength means mastering violence. Among the three, the greater the influence, the less reason is needed. The future ninja village structure model is vividly reflected. The daimyo dominates resources, which does not have a deep impact on Konoha village. It is just a cash machine. The third generation dominates manpower, but manpower needs to be gathered, condensed, fooled, and laborious. And Senju Hashirama, the first generation Hokage, holds the power. The will of fire is my will. If you don't believe in my will, let's use what escaped to let you feel my will deeply. After you understand, we can talk about it. In the first 5 shadow talks, each shadow brought a successor beside him. Uchiha Yu didn't think that was just for show. Perhaps, it was to better explain the last words before being beaten to death. Hyuga Mizuki chose the financial position with the least influence. On the one hand, it proved that she really wanted to take root in Bayu City, and on the other hand, it also proved that she was self-aware. This woman is very smart. She knows her position too well. However, Uchiha Yu didn't care what she thought specifically. He wasn't a good uncle who was suspicious all day long and guarded against this and that. Suspicion of the people around you is a lack of confidence in your own strength. There is one advantage to being Uchiha Yu's subordinate. You won't be suspected, and even if you want, Uchiha Yu doesn't mind adding more burdens for you. Anyway, for Uchiha, the seemingly important Uchiha clan members, the students he carefully cultivated in Wangpu Ninja School, and various internal and external plans are just casual works in the process of waiting to become stronger. Although these things have Uchiha Yu's purpose and consideration, the biggest difference from others is that he can afford to lose. Just like Orochimaru's experimental base in the future, as long as he completes the experiment he wants, he can abandon it at will. For him, as long as he masters the most core things, he can easily make a comeback even if he has nothing. And Uchiha Yu built Bayu City for 3 purposes. First, to pave the way for various creations in the future. The ninjutsu he created always needs someone to try the effect. Second, fishing. He is fishing for the people of the Land of Fire. The general trend is on his side. Fishing for the investment of other ninja clans. Is it better to have a village or a city? This is a comparison. Fishing for the attitude of the Six Paths Sage. The incident of Senju Tobarama made Uchiha Yu realize that the Six Paths Sage might be playing a chess game. Combined with the deduction of the original work, Uchiha Yu guessed that the Six Paths Sage might want to use the struggle between Senju and Uchiha and use limited resources to promote the continuous growth of ninja strength. Especially the growth of cutting-edge forces. This may be to prepare for future Otsutsuki invasions. The emergence of White Mist City may attract the attention of the Six Paths Sage, or even a wave of support from the secret. Even if he does not get support, his series of operations can also help the Six Paths Sage in his plan. They cannot be friends, and now Uchiha Yu does not want to become enemies with the Six Paths Sage. He wants to work towards the best direction, and at the same time, he is prepared for the worst. The Six Paths Sage is concerned about the evolution of the descendants of their 2 sons, so he will push it along. If Senju wants to play with will, then he will play with you. If Senju wants to play with combat power, then he will also play with you. If Senju wants to play with conspiracy, he does not mind playing with you. Uchiha can afford to play, can afford to lose, and can accompany to the end. Now he admits that he is a bit cowardly. However, he does not have the strength to fight against the Six Paths Sage now. Even at this moment, Uchiha Yu, in terms of future development pattern, mentality, and even ideas, does not intend to regard the Six Paths Sage as an imaginary enemy, but rather as an investment target to be won over as much as possible. Don't ask why. The answer is that in Myoboku Mountain, one of the 3 holy places, there is a big toad sage who seems to be able to predict the future. If his wish is realized in the future and the big toad sage happens to meet him, who knows what will happen? Even if he stands on the opposite side of the Six Paths Sage in the future, he must surpass the Six Paths Sage in all aspects, whether it is human heart, pattern, power, and the entire ninja world, or the development of the planet. In this way, even if the big toad sage sees the future, it can only be said that he is incompatible with the Six Paths Sage's philosophy, not an evil clan that wants to destroy the world. Therefore, Uchiha Yu now chooses to do what he can do at the moment, do his best, listen to God's will, and do his best. As for the future, everything he does is the future. And in the future, he is not a scheming planner, but a passive recipient, driven by the general trend. Everything he gained was forced, his success and fame were forced, and his opposition to some people was just the general trend. He can give in, but he cannot compromise. He may be a little extreme, but you can't say he is wrong. He can be a hypocrite, but he has to keep pretending. In this way, he can buy as much time as possible for himself to grow. Future City. This name is really appropriate. Uchiha Yu stood on a pavilion in Bayu town, using the midday sun to briefly dispel the fog, looking at the Bayu city that was about to start construction, and couldn't help but sigh. Time passed, and Uchiha Yu was busy, and soon several months passed. Uchiha Yu once again ushered in the time when the compensation point came again. Open the data panel. Name, Uchiha Yu. Age, 11. Talent, diligence can make up for one's shortcomings. Skills, chakra refining technique LVMAX, 2 halves instant body technique LVMAX, flame sword technique LVMAX, living body technique LVMAX, multiple crow shadow clone technique LVMAX, 2 halves great fireball technique LVMAX, throwing technique LVMAX, transformation technique LVMAX, substitution technique LVMAX, 2 Magatama Sharingan LVMAX, seal technique LVMAX, eye concentration technique LVMAX, Rasengan LV11, summoning technique LV11, healing technique LVMAX, gentle fist technique LV8. Compensation points. 1. Backpack. Several items. Because of the increase in the Crow Shadow clone, Uchiha Yu's efforts in less than half a year can catch up with the painstaking practice of more than 20 years. The skills transformed from various ninjutsu have been maxed out one after another under the talent of diligence can make up for one's shortcomings. The max levels of these skills are not much of an improvement for Uchiha Yu. However, the knowledge feedback brought by these ninjutsu at the moment of full level is the most important for Uchiha Yu. This greatly improved Uchiha Yu's ninja literacy. The literacy of a ninja can be understood as the understanding of ninjutsu. The higher the ninja literacy, the deeper the ninja's understanding of the essence of ninjutsu, and the more flexible the use of ninjutsu. In battle, it can often use the least cost and the most accurate method to cause the greatest damage. The improvement of these ninja literacy is also more conducive to Uchiha's subsequent research and practice of ninjutsu, which is an invisible wealth. And all this, if there is no multiple crow shadow clone technique, it may take more than 20 years, or even longer to have. Therefore, when the compensation point comes this time, Uchiha Yu has 2 choices in his mind. First, try to continue to improve the Crow Shadow clone technique to see if it can be further improved and perfected. The second is to improve the chakra refining technique. Although he seems to be able to devour natural energy and continuously enhance his own chakra limit, this speed is still too slow after all. It may not be obvious in a short time, but this time when he returned to his clan and fought with Uchiha Yu clearly felt the surge in Madara's chakra. If this continues, even if Uchiha Yu does not hide his chakra in the future, he may not be able to match Madara, let alone Senju Hashirama. Of course, Uchiha Yu's ability is a long-term growth type. Perhaps in the next few decades, or even until Naruto's era, his chakra will be comparable to Senju Hashirama. But by then, he will miss a lot of things. So, after thinking about it, Uchiha Yu finally chose the second option. Continue to break through the chakra refining technique. A little compensation point. On the chakra refining technique LVMAX, 2 halves Uchiha Yu only felt that the chakra in his body had undergone some changes. A familiar feeling also emerged in his heart. Vaguely in the middle, Uchiha Yu felt that he was in an illusory place. His body was not a physical entity, but more like a ball of chakra energy. This chakra energy began to slowly evolve and condense at a speed visible to the naked eye. Finally, it turned into a seed similar to a flesh and blood embryo. Uchiha Yu woke up from his perception, with some enlightenment on his face. When he raised his hand, a stream of chakra surged and gradually condensed into a translucent seed. Check the skill changes. Chakra refining technique LVMAX 2 halves became chakra refining technique LVMAX 1/4 plus. With the previous changes, Uchiha Yu understood that the change 1/4 should mean that 4 compensation points are needed to complete it. But what does the plus after the bracket mean? Uchiha Yu raised his hand and clicked to see if he could add points directly with one click. Unfortunately, Uchiha Yu took it for granted. His data panel did not respond. Uchiha's research was fruitless, so he chose to give up temporarily. He wanted to study the various changes brought by chakra seed refining technique, so he tried various skills. And this attempt was not a big deal. Uchiha Yu felt some changes in skills. Living body technique LVMAX. Seed refining technique LVMAX. 2 Magatama Sharingan LVMAX. When these 3 skills were driven, the reaction of chakra seed refining technique was very strong, and he wanted to integrate and absorb these 3 skills. Could it be that the plus means to absorb other skills? If so, Does it mean that this skill can be perfected without relying on compensation points? Thinking of this, Uchiha Yu's eyes were a little excited, but he began to try. Time also passed quietly in this attempt. Uchiha Yu turned a deaf ear to the outside world and devoted himself to the practice and perception of chakra seed refining technique. 1 month later, Uchiha Yu integrated the living body technique into the chakra seed refining technique. Chakra refining technique LVMAX 2 quarters. Uchiha Yu absorbed natural energy and converted it into chakra faster, as natural as instinct, and the chakra limit increased more and more rapidly. 3 months later, Uchiha Yu integrated the eye concentration technique LVMAX. Chakra refining technique LVMAX 3 quarters. Uchiha felt that he could photosynthesize like a plant. In the integration of light energy, the chakra attributes in Uchiha Yu's body were increased to varying degrees, especially the yang escape that had always been lacking, finally catching up with the improvement of other attributes. The chakra limit increased again. Half a year later, Uchiha Yu has integrated the Sharingan skills. At this moment, the Sharingan is still at the level of 2 Magatama because Uchiha Yu is concentrating on practicing the chakra seed refining technique. Chakra seed refining technique LVMAX 4 quarters. When this technique is completely perfected, Uchiha Yu awakens a strange blood limit, or a special bloodline ability. During his practice, Uchiha Yu feels like a seed. It can transform natural energy into chakra. It can swallow chakra to break the shell, germinate, grow, bloom, bear fruit, and condense seeds, completing the life process of a plant. This process is like the life and death process of a person from embryo, baby, teenager, youth, middle-aged, and old age. Very mysterious. In this way, another half a year has passed. Uchiha Yu relied on the inhalation and exhalation of natural energy to complete the reincarnation of the seed. Among them, it is worth mentioning that when the seed blooms, the flower that exists in the imagination of consciousness has a 3 Magatama Sharingan in its stamen. Gradually, the Sharingan flower in the imagination of consciousness began to wither. In the process of constantly swallowing chakra, a fruit gradually formed. The fruit gradually grew larger from the initial green color and finally matured. In this process, Uchiha Yu did not get any substantial improvement except for continuously providing natural energy to the body for conversion into chakra absorption. However, after the fruit was completely mature, seeds began to grow in the fruit. The moment this seed condensed, it was like the seed, instinctively absorbing the nutrients of the fruit flesh, and then spreading all the way down, and began to devour the nutrients and vitality of the entire tree. In this process, Uchiha Yu's 2 Magatama Sharingan silently completed the transformation and turned into a pair of 3 Magatama Sharingans with powerful pupils, and Uchiha's chakra was directly piled to the top. No matter how hard Uchiha Yu continued to work, his chakra limit could no longer be raised. Even if he continued to devour natural energy to convert chakra, the seed could no longer absorb any chakra. At this moment, Uchiha Yu could create 300 crow shadow clones at a time, which was 10 times higher than the previous chakra limit. However, at this point, all of Uchiha Yu's cell potential had been exhausted, and the body energy that could be extracted at one time had also reached its peak. Open the data panel. Name: Uchiha Yu. Age: 12. Talent: diligence can make up for one's shortcomings, chakra seed. Bloodline skills: 3 Magatama Sharingan, insight, copy, hypnosis. Skills: chakra refining technique LVMAX, 4 quarters instant body technique LVMAX, flame sword technique LVMAX, multiple crow shadow clone technique LVMAX, 2 halves great fireball technique LVMAX, throwing technique LVMAX, transformation technique LVMAX, substitution technique LVMAX, seal technique LVMAX, Rasengan LVMAX, summoning technique LVMAX, healing technique LVMAX, gentle fist technique LVMAX. Compensation points: 1. Backpack. Several items. The data panel is updated, with an additional function column. Bloodline skills. Sharingan is on it. In addition to diligence can make up for one's shortcomings, the talent column also has an additional ability. Chakra seed. Effect 1. Parasitism. With chakra as the source, a chakra seed is condensed. It can use flesh and blood as nutrients, or it can parasitize in the body of a living being, transform the physical constitution of the living being, and form a symbiotic relationship with the living being. Effect 2. Seed condensation. When life dies, the chakra seed will absorb everything from the dead life and condense into a blood seed. Effect 3. Fusion. It can absorb and fuse to promote the improvement of its own blood. Looking at the existence of the seed condensation talent. In the surging chakra in Uchiha Yu's hand, a seed is naturally condensed. The size and shape of the seed are similar to soybeans, but the color is similar to that of red beans. It looks ordinary and seems to be nothing special. With a wave of his hand, a corpse was taken out of Uchiha Yu's backpack. This is a corpse hidden in Uchiha Yu's backpack space for many years. He came from the night of the night raid that year. After Uchiha Yu made the first kill, he turned back and secretly hid a corpse. Because of the special features of the backpack, the corpse still retains its original activity after so many years, and even the pupil power of the eyes is still there. Uchiha Yu walked closer and used the exquisite chakra control power to remove the corpse's Sharingan and put it back into the backpack for preservation. Then, Uchiha Yu placed the condensed chakra seed in the eye socket of the corpse whose eyeballs had been removed. There, the moment the seed came into contact with the body fluid of the corpse, the seemingly ordinary seed was like a magnet, tightly attached to the corpse. A continuous suction force came out from the seed. As it continued to absorb nutrients, the seed began to take root and sprout. The roots covered all parts of the body like a spider web, and at the same time continued to drill into the flesh and blood of the corpse, madly absorbing nutrients from the corpse, and began to grow rapidly. This process lasted for about half an hour. In the end, the corpse almost disappeared, leaving only a pile of ashes and bone powder. And the plant was only half a person's height, with lush leaves, and it seemed that it was only in the growth stage. Uchiha Yu reached out and touched the leaves, only to feel a sense of desire coming from the leaves. Uchiha Yu inexplicably understood the needs of the plant and began to slowly inject chakra into the plant. The plant that had stopped growing began to continue to grow and then formed flower buds. When the flower blooms, a single Magatama Sharingan slowly rotates in it, which looks very strange. Uchiha Yu continues to infuse chakra into the plant. The Sharingan flower begins to wither, and the Sharingan pattern in the middle dims, gradually condensing into a fruit the size of an eyeball. The originally rotating Magatama forms a Magatama pattern on the surface of the fruit. Uchiha Yu did not stop and infused chakra. Finally, the fruit matures and seeds begin to condense in it. At the moment the seed is formed, Uchiha's chakra establishes a connection with the seed, and it seems that the seed can be used as a medium to devour the entire plant. This feeling is very similar to the fantasy that Uchiha Yu had when he practiced the chakra seed refining technique. Uchiha followed that feeling and swallowed the entire plant into nutrients through the condensed seeds. After that, he drove the chakra seed refining technique again, and the illusion in his consciousness appeared again, and then repeated a similar process. The only difference is that when the flower blooms, it is a pattern of a single Magatama Sharingan. Finally, when Uchiha Yu absorbed the seeds condensed by the plant in his consciousness, the Sharingan that Uchiha felt suddenly opened. Suddenly, I felt that my pupil power had increased to a certain extent, and my insight seemed to be stronger. The chakra limit that had reached the limit was increased a little in this process. Don't underestimate this point, this increase is at least one card. Feeling the changes in his body, Uchiha Yu smiled. He seemed to have found a way to continue to improve. Then, he took out a few treasured corpses from his backpack. A former ninja from the Hyuga branch of Bayu town. Some of the bodies of the Hyuga and Kagaya who were killed instantly when blocking the Kagaya clan. When the Uchiha and Senju fought, Uchiha Yu was a ghost team supporting everywhere, and he had many corpses. The most precious among them is a Senju with very powerful chakra and a red-haired Uzumaki ninja. In addition, in the prison of Bayu City, there are still a group of Kagaya prisoners of war, including a living corpse. What is the difference between death parasitism and living parasitism? Uchiha Yu was very curious. However, he decided to try these corpses first. Although this ability feels like eating people. However, as long as it does not enter from the mouth, Uchiha Yu actually has no rejection in his heart. Human corpses are just a kind of nutrient for living things. If Uchiha Yu does not move them, they will eventually be decomposed by microorganisms and return to the world. Uchiha Yu condensed chakra seeds in his hand and placed them in the corpses. The corpses were quickly devoured by chakra seeds, and some similar but completely different plants grew. The branches and leaves of the big tree growing on the corpses of the Senju clan were the thickest, 3 meters high, and the flower buds were as big as fists. When Uchiha Yu continued to use chakra to promote the growth of the tree, the flowers blooming on the tree did not look like Sharingan, but had a strong sense of vitality. Uchiha Yu continued to infuse chakra into the tree, and finally all the nutrients of the tree gathered in the fruit, and finally the fruit shrank and all merged into the core of a fruit. To be precise, it was in the seeds in the core. Picking the core from the dry and withered tree, the tree will collapse into dust. A light pinch of the core reveals the seed that exudes abundant energy. At the moment when the seed and Uchiha Yu establish a connection, Uchiha Yu's chakra reconnects with the energy in the seed. The digestive ability that once belonged to the living body technique in the body slowly operates under Uchiha Yu's drive, and continuously absorbs the power in the seed. Uchiha Yu's body is also gradually reproducing the satisfaction and joy in the process of the seed power integrating into the body. Uchiha Yu understands that feeling is the evolution of the body's blood potential. At this moment, Uchiha Yu is extremely glad that he did not focus on improving the Sharingan. Otherwise, even if he is at this age, he will continue to improve and use the compensation points to improve the Sharingan to the state of Mangekyo, or even the state of eternal Mangekyo. He will not be able to truly control the power of those eyes. Because, if the bloodline qualification of the body is not up to the standard, and the chakra is not up to the standard, forcing the use of that ability, except for showing off and overdrawing vitality, has no meaning. But now it is completely different. When his chakra seed refining technique was completely completed, the first seed refining was not that sneak attack ninja, but himself. The seed refining technique developed all the bloodline potential in his body at one time. 3 Magatama. This is the potential of Uchiha Yu's bloodline. Unfortunately, its Sharingan does not have the ability to continue to advance. The limit of his bloodline is only 3 Magatama. If it is forcibly improved with compensation points, it may be possible to break through. But the ability obtained, even if it is improved with compensation points, cannot fully exert the full ability of those eyes. Because his body is not up to standard, it is not worthy of those eyes. But when Uchiha Yu swallowed the Uchiha corpse that he collected on the night of the sneak attack, the blood concentration in his body was improved a little. Although it is not enough to reach the advanced level, it also allows the body cells to withstand more and stronger chakra. The chakra limit that was originally completely fixed will be improved. This time, as he swallowed the chakra condensed by the Thousand Hands Ninja, Uchiha Yu's body felt joy and satisfaction, and he re-entered the state of trance. He saw himself transformed into a seed again and completed a reincarnation. This process lasted for almost 3 months. Uchiha Yu did not feel bored during this process, because the satisfaction and joy brought by the constant transformation of the body constantly washed over his body and soul. Even if his good uncle was gone at this time, he could still laugh. Finally, on this day, the feeling of physical comfort receded like a tide, and Uchiha Yu was like a cloud from the clouds. After falling, the whole person felt a sense of dullness. The continuous enjoyment from the heart and body made him a little intoxicated. However, feeling the changes in his body at this moment, he still showed an excited smile. His chakra increased again. If the chakra limit was about 50 cards before, it is now almost 300 cards. Looking at the flowers around him that were about to bloom after absorbing the corpses, Uchiha Yu's face was full of expectations. Continue. Another 2 months. The seeds of the corpses of the Hyuga clan were swallowed. Chakra increased to 500k. 1 month later, Uchiha Yu swallowed some corpses of the Hyuga clan. Chakra lasted until about 600k before it ended. The vision of the Sharingan continued to grow during this process, and the pupil power had more penetrating power. However, this penetrating power was not strong, and it could not penetrate the body, but only some simple substances. For example, clothes and the like. Uchiha Yu occasionally uses the full-level transformation technique, opens the Sharingan and walks around in Bayu town to promote blood circulation during adolescence. In this way, another 4 months later, the vortex seed is swallowed. Chakra increase. 900k. Then, Uchiha Yu continued to spend 3 months to swallow the chakra seeds condensed by the corpses of the Hyuga clan ninjas. Chakra increase, reaching 1000 K. Uchiha Yu felt a swelling feeling in his eyes, which contained a surge of pupil power like mountains and seas, not like the feeling of opening a kaleidoscope. Because that surge of pupil power is much stronger than the strength of 3 Magatama. However, this feeling is lacking a little meaning, as if something is missing. At the same time, a new skill appeared in the bloodline skills. Primary Sage Body. This skill did not bring about an increase in chakra, but the yang escape power in the body and the yin escape power brought by the Sharingan reached a perfect balance and began to form a state of yin and yang complementation. The eyes are more comfortable, the pupil power is endless, the body's recovery speed is much faster, and the whole body seems to have endless energy. After that, Uchiha Yu found a lot of ninja corpses to devour. However, after spending several months, he only increased the chakra in his body by about 1100 calories. So far, Uchiha Yu's chakra upper limit high-speed period has ended. From the emergence of chakra refining technique to now, it has been almost exactly 1 kun year. Uchiha Yu has completed the transformation from Chijinla to Chatinla. The time before and after is almost exactly 1 kun year. Now Uchiha Yu has 2 compensation points, and in a few months, he will have the 3rd compensation point. Name: Uchiha Yu. Age: 14. Talent: diligence can make up for one's shortcomings. Chakra seed. Bloodline skills: 3 Magatama Sharingan, Primary Sage Body. Skills: Chakra Seed Refining Technique LVMAX, 4/4 Instant Body Technique LVMAX, Flame Sword Technique LVMAX, Multiple Crow Shadow Clone Technique LVMAX, 2/2 Great Fireball Technique LVMAX, Throwing Technique LVMAX, Transformation Technique LVMAX, Substitution Technique LVMAX, Seal Technique LVMAX, Rasengan LVMAX, Summoning Technique LVMAX, Healing Technique LVMAX, Gentle Fist Technique LVMAX. Compensation points: 2. Backpack. Several items. Over the past 2 years, Uchiha Yu has been obsessed with chakra enhancement, so these compensation points are temporarily unused. Just looking at the panel, the data seems to have not changed except for the addition of a primary sage body. But only Uchiha Yu himself knows. Now he can suppress himself 1 year ago with one hand. Even if they have the same skills, the power and strength they use cannot be compared. His current chakra volume should be enough to completely defeat Madara and be on par with the current Senju Hashirama. However, Uchiha Yu knew that Hashirama's sage body was a sage body that was gradually formed after continuously absorbing the power of Asura. Now he is only a primary sage body, and he will grow into an intermediate, advanced, or even stronger one in the future. Asura's chakra and Indra's chakra can be said to be the original abilities of Yang and Yin escape. As long as Madara and Hashirama absorb the chakras of the two, their bodies will be subtly enhanced in the process. But he does not have this advantage. His primary sage body is just based on the Uchiha bloodline, and after absorbing the Senju, Uzumaki, and other races, it is integrated and condensed into a sage body. In terms of the potential of the sage body, Uchiha Yu's sage body potential is far inferior to that of Senju Hashirama. However, if it is only in the state of the primary sage body, Uchiha Yu, who is also a sage body, is completely better than Senju Hashirama in all aspects of the body. Senju Hashirama is only good at his body, but Uchiha Yu is not only good at his body. Moreover, Uchiha Yu's limit at this moment is not his real limit. Since he completed the full release of his physical potential 3 years ago, every time he devoured a corpse, the increase brought by his subsequent devouring was constantly breaking his own limit. And his chakra refining technique is not just about devouring corpses. That is just an application of the parasitic ability in chakra. In addition, chakra can also parasitize living creatures. After completing the chakra refining technique, Uchiha Yu began to try various aspects in his free time. But now, he has not reaped the results. After parasitizing in the body of a living being, the chakra seed can open up the living being's aptitude for chakra cultivation. Unlike ordinary parasitism that plunders the host's nutrients, from the perspective of ninjas and ordinary people, his chakra seed is not a disaster, but an opportunity. Chakra seed can allow an ordinary person to start the road of ninja. It can also allow a ninja who does not have enough qualifications to fully release his potential by continuously cultivating chakra seed to infect the body. One is a future that is not even enough to become a ninja. The other is to allow you to steadily have a future that is at least an elite jonin. In the meantime, only one chakra seed is needed. And the price they need to pay is that the chakra seed is recycled after death to provide Uchiha Yu with power enhancement. Is this the price? Although from a higher level, Uchiha Yu regards life as a parasitic host and uses them to gain power. But how many people can refuse? Uchiha Yu even feels that he is doing good deeds. After realizing the many operability of chakra seed, Uchiha Yu did not create and spread it, but thought about how to maximize the use of this ability. Even, let it become something that others flock to, but need to pay enough price to get. After all, only precious things can make people cherish them more and be treated with more care. What Uchiha Yu needs is someone who can completely infect the body with the chakra seed, not someone who just gives up after having the chakra seed. Uchiha Yu stood in his city lord's office and looked out the window. It was still the same Bayu town as before. Except for being a little more prosperous, there was not much change. The only change was that there was a tall black wall in the area 10 miles outside Bayu town. If you look at it on the map, you will find that this tall black wall just separates the coastal area of the Fire Country, as well as the inland area within 100 kilometers from the entire Fire Country. This does not look like a city, but more like a line drawn on the land of the Fire Country, splitting the land to crown the king. Of course, according to Uchiha Yu's original idea, it was not like this. At least, the construction blueprint that Uchiha Ming painstakingly drew was not like this. But who let Uchiha Tajima allocate so much territory to him? Even if 1/3 of the wealth of the Hyuga clan was enough to build a small city like Konoha village. But in the end, all the materials, all the resources, and all the money were only used to build this black wall. If Uchiha Yu had not said several times that he would find a way to solve the problem of the subsequent construction, it is estimated that Uchiha Ming would have given up now. However, there is no rush for everything, just take it slowly. After sorting out his mood, Uchiha Yu left the office and headed towards a place in Bayu town where prisoners were held. In a flash, Uchiha Yu arrived at his destination in just 1 minute. His footsteps finally stopped at a special cell. In addition to a symbolic iron gate, the cell was fully equipped with various facilities, more like a single apartment for living alone. And in it, sat a thin and pale young man. The young man had a bun that belonged to the Kagaya clan. He looked only 17 or 18 years old, but the vitality in his body was like that of an old man in his twilight years. When the man saw Uchiha Yu coming, his originally lifeless eyes became brighter. Uchiha Yu, I didn't expect that I could see you again before I die. Hearing the other party speak, Uchiha Yu's expression also came back to his senses. This was the only Kagaya clan member he treated with favor, and he was also the ninja he wanted to recruit as a subordinate. Unfortunately, Uchiha Yu was helpless against his blood disease. So, Uchiha Yu gave him a chakra seed, allowing him to exert the remaining heat of his life in the end. Kagaya Mimaro, do you have any wishes at the end of your life? Kagaya Umaro, the only man whose name makes Uchiha Yu think of him. He is also one of the few awakened corpse veins in the Kagaya clan. Unlike other ninja clans, the blood limit is not only not taken seriously in the Kagaya clan, but it is feared and even considered a curse. Because all the Kagaya clan members who awaken the corpse veins feed the corpse veins with vitality to grow. Moreover, this is like a vicious cycle. The stronger the corpse vein is, the more vitality it devours. And the more vitality it devours, the further the corpse vein will awaken. Before the corpse vein is fully awakened, this blood will continue to devour vitality, and it will continue to devour. Without sufficient life energy support, the blood will forcibly overdraw the body and squeeze the vitality to awaken, which is very domineering and dangerous. According to Kagaya Umaro, from ancient times to the present, no ancestor's vitality can support the complete awakening of the blood. Even the people of the Kagaya clan have always believed that this bloodline is an incomplete bloodline, more like a curse. But only Uchiha Yu, who has watched the plot of Naruto, vaguely guessed that the corpse bone vein might really be too powerful. This ability may involve a technique of the moon goddess. Co-killing ash bones. In the original work, Obito was injured by a bone spur thrown by Kagaya Otsutsuki and turned directly into ashes. It is said that this thing is a sure kill move, and there is no possibility of survival if it hits. Corpse Bone Vein is likely to be the ability that has not fully evolved into killing ash bones, so it needs to absorb life energy to advance. And because the Corpse Bone Vein has been uncontrollably strengthening since it was awakened, so all Kagaya ninjas who awaken the Corpse Bone Vein, from the day of awakening, the longer they live, the stronger the ability of the Corpse Bone Vein will be. Now Kagaya Umaro has reached the last moment of his life. If Uchiha Yu does not come, he will die silently in 10 days or half a month at most. And Kagaya Umaro at this moment is also his strongest moment. Although Kagaya Umaro, who has awakened the corpse vein, does not have the bloodthirsty and belligerent nature of the Kagaya clan, deep down, he still wants to let himself bloom once at the end of his life. At least, he wants to fight to his heart's content once. If possible, I want to die in battle like other Kagaya ninjas. Wither away in madness. Kagaya Umaro looked at Uchiha Yu, without any fear of death in his eyes, but only a desire. This is not a desire to fight, but a desire for life. Uchiha Yu met his gaze, and after a moment of silence, he replied softly. If this is what you want, as you wish. Outside Bayu town, a vacant space covered with green grass. Uchiha Yu stood there, his Uchiha uniform fluttering in the wind. Opposite him, Kagaya Mimaro's weak body even swayed a little in the wind. However, as his body swayed, a good amount of chakra flowed out of his body, and bone spurs all over his body drilled out from all over his body. Suddenly, Kagaya Ninja raised his hand, and a bone suddenly shot out from the tip of his finger. Finger shot. Uchiha Yu's attack was as fast as a bullet, and his figure moved, easily dodging the finger bone attack. But the next moment, a series of air-breaking sounds came. 10 fingers shot in succession. Uchiha Yu faced this successive attack that blocked his instant body direction. Although he could have instantly escaped from the attack range of the finger shot, he did not do so. He just stood there motionless and forcibly took the finger shot attack. The 9-finger bullets seemed to encounter some strong resistance before they hit Uchiha Yu's skin. They lost their power to explode and fell to the ground. But Uchiha Yu remained motionless. However, outside his body, there was a thin layer of chakra attached to his body, which was very similar to the ability of the Thousand Hands ninja outside Bayu town. This ability is a more subtle use of Kaden. When chakra manipulation reaches a certain level, it can form a layer of absolute defense similar to Kaden on the body surface with less chakra consumption. As long as it is not a move like Mingtun or Hungry Ghost Road that directly restrains chakra, in the face of such defense, in addition to violently breaking the boundary, you can only fight and consume it. Kagaya Umaro did not have the time to deal with consumption, and he did not want to waste time there. At this moment, he just wanted to fight to his heart's content, fighting at the cost of his life. At this moment, Kagaya Umaro had bone spurs growing on his palms, back, ribs, and some joints. Each bone spur was half a meter long, with a cold light flashing at the tip, and it quickly moved towards Uchiha Yu approaches. His body rotates, and the bone spurs approach Uchiha Yu like a meat grinder at this moment. His body covered with bone spurs constantly wears away the defense of Uchiha's body surface. Although Uchiha Yu can withstand the wear of each bone spur, the rotation and penetration force brought by each bone spur actually destroys Uchiha Yu's defense. Coupled with the continuous offensive, the defense gradually becomes thinner where the bone spurs rotate and wear away Uchiha Yu. Seeing this, Uchiha Yu did not continue to hold on, and his chakra suddenly burst out. A stream of chakra spurted out from the pores all over Uchiha Yu's body. This is an ability that Uchiha Yu obtained after he thoroughly practiced the soft fist method, an ability that the Hyuga clan has innate physique. Chakra can be dispersed to the outside through the pores of the body and the acupuncture points all over the body. The Hyuga clan also used this method to use the chakra that was released from the body to form a Kaden defense. Uchiha Yu played it more skillfully than the Hyuga clan. The chakra that was released from his body was still controlled by him and began to rotate around him. Based on the principle of Kaden, a bright blue rotating energy ball was formed around him, just wrapping him up. Ninja method, Kaden Rasengan. Kagaya Umaro, who was originally spinning to wear him down, now began to be worn down by him. Kagaya Umaro retreated violently and jumped more than 10 meters away, while Uchiha Yu drove the Rasengan and rolled all the way towards Kagaya Umaro. Kaiden Rasengan, with the body as the energy core of the Rasengan, can be kept open as long as the Rasengan is not forcibly broken or Uchiha Yu's energy is exhausted. Similar to the meat bomb car, Uchiha's Rasengan chased after Kagaya Umaro. Wherever he passed, deep trenches were created on the ground, and the grass and trees were crushed into debris. Kagaya Umaro could only dodge and retreat. However, his body was also changing. His body, originally densely packed with thorns, began to be neatly arranged, and gradually began to form a set of solid bone armor outside the body surface. After his whole body was completely wrapped, Kagaya Umaro condensed a huge bone spur in his hand and turned around to stab Uchiha Yu. The wear power of the Rasengan was in a stalemate with the bone spur formed by the corpse bone vein. In the end, the bone spur was worn away bit by bit, but the trend did not slow down, and continued to attack the bone armor attached to his body surface. Without holding back, he forcefully wore away the bone armor. However, before the bone armor was worn away, Kagaya Umaro directly abandoned the bone armor, performed a bone escape, and disappeared in front of Uchiha Yu. Uchiha Yu dispersed the chakra around him, stood in place, and looked at the bone armor in front of him that was completely turned into bone powder by himself, and there was a trace of caution in his eyes. He knew that the final move was coming. He had suffered a great loss under this move before, and even left some psychological shadows. Suddenly, Uchiha Yu's figure moved, and he jumped off the ground. At the moment when Uchiha Yu broke away, bone spurs suddenly sprang out from the ground. Each bone spur was sharp, like a steel spear, and suddenly turned an area into a forest of bone spurs. Those endless bone spurs, as if they had self-awareness, suddenly emerged from the ground, and some of them were directly launched at Uchiha Yu, who jumped in the air. In an instant, a rain of bone spur arrows flew all over the sky, and they were about to penetrate Uchiha Yu into a sieve. Uchiha Yu, who was suspended in the air, showed emotion on his face in the face of this rain of bone spur arrows, but his expression was not the slightest bit solemn. Spinning in the air, the Rasengan reappeared. However, although the Rasengan was very strong, it was still difficult to avoid the continuous stabs of the dense rain of arrows and bone spurs. Just when the Rasengan was about to fail, bursts of sharp wind blades gradually appeared on the Rasengan. Wind escape, Rasengan Shuriken. Around Uchiha Yu, the rapidly rotating Rasengan drove the cutting force of the wind blade, directly crushing the dense bone spurs piercing from the surrounding area. Moreover, under this technique, Uchiha Yu can also rely on this technique to fly for a short time. Flying with the spiral shuriken. Uchiha Yu manipulated the shuriken, and rushed towards one direction on the ground under the rain of bone spur arrows. There, Kagaya Umaro palely overdrawn his vitality to launch an attack, and fought a final tug of war with Uchiha Yu. But Uchiha Yu, however, was doing it lightly, driving the spiral shuriken, and walking towards Kagaya Umaro. As he kept getting closer, Kagaya Umamaro's bone spur arrow rain gradually decreased, and the attack became weaker and weaker. At the end, Uchiha Yu dispersed the Rasenshuriken and then the Rasengan, leaving only a faint trace of chakra, standing in front of Kagaya Umaro, who was barely breathing but still boiling with fighting spirit. How was it? Uchiha Yu did not have much joy of victory, as if he was asking a friend how he had performed just now. Kagaya Umaro, looking at Uchiha Yu, whose clothes were not damaged at all and who did not show any fatigue even after using so much chakra, showed a complicated smile on his face. This is the most enjoyable and the most powerless battle in my life. It's a pity that my body is about to die, otherwise I really want to see the scenery of the new era with you. Thank you, Uchiha Yu. After Kagaya Umaro finished speaking, the faint vitality in his body could no longer support it and quietly extinguished. Uchiha Yu looked at the dead Kagaya Umaro and couldn't help but sigh softly. Slightly raising his hand, the white mist covering the sky, as if driven by a force, slowly opened a gap. A ray of sunlight shone on the dead Kagaya Umaro. Kagaya Umaro's body began to shrivel at a speed visible to the naked eye, and finally turned into ashes. A stream of pure chakra floated out from the ashes, lingering in Uchiha Yu's palm, and finally turned into a blood-colored seed. The chakra seed refining technique was activated, and the seed was directly refined into Uchiha Yu's body. Then, Uchiha Yu felt that his chakra had surged again, and it was surging upwards. And this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is that he swallowed some blood fragments accumulated by so many corpses, and finally produced a qualitative change at this time. The feeling of jumping all over the body came again, and the cells and bones all over the body seemed to be jumping for joy at this moment. And the vitality in Uchiha Yu's body was also absorbed by his own cells and bones in a peaceful way. A new force gradually grew in Uchiha Yu's body. He slowly raised his hand, and a bone spur flashing with a white light came out from the palm of Uchiha Yu's hand, without any pain, as if those bones can grow automatically according to his will, or retract according to his will. Free manipulation, without any shackles. Everything seems like instinct. Feeling the vitality that is constantly dissipating in his body, although Uchiha Yu's current recovery speed of the primary immortal body has no effect at all, this feeling still makes him instinctively want to cut off this vitality supply. Act as soon as you feel moved. What Uchiha Yu didn't expect was that he really did it. The supply of vitality in his body gradually weakened, and the sense of excitement caused by the continuous transformation in his body and the many abnormalities caused by the transformation of his body also gradually weakened at this time, and finally as the vitality stopped being lost, it completely returned to normal. And his corpse bone veins are still there, and they can be operated freely, but the strength of the bones seems to be slightly more fragile than the bones created by Kagaya Umemaro. When Uchiha Yu released the control of his own vitality, the feeling of stopping the transformation came again. The bone spurs on his palms became sharper and stronger as they continued to devour his vitality. He seemed to be able to control his vitality supply and dominate the awakening progress of the corpse bone vein by relying on his exquisite control of chakra. I was a little worried whether the primary sage body could withstand the self-awakening vitality devouring of the corpse bone vein, and even left 2 compensation points unused. But I didn't expect that there would be such a surprise. But think about it, the chakra seeds created by the chakra seed refining technique can also be backfired, which is disrespectful to the compensation points. Uchiha Yu felt the slowly awakening power of the corpse bone vein in his body. He did not cut off the vitality supply again, but controlled it below the recovery speed of the primary sage body, allowing the corpse bone vein to devour vitality and continuously strengthen his bones. Uchiha Yu was very curious. What would happen if Tobirama Senju developed the Flying Thunder God technique and suddenly appeared behind him one day, ready to give him a thunder strike, and suddenly several bone spurs grew behind him? After Uchiha Yu thought about skewering Tobirama, should he use the wind escape tablets? Or roast him with fire escape? Or use his own discharge talent to give him continuous electrotherapy? I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.